Dun, dun, dun. Cunt. Now you have it. I'm a man of my word. A man of my word. Oh, man. Smoking Tire Podcast. We here. I'm back. I was on the road last week. I did a road show. And here we are with Jonny Lieberman and Jethro Bovingdon.
Hey,
welcome, sir. Jethro's first time in studio.
Yeah, I'm
we only met briefly. Are you?
Yeah.
You'd be the first one.
This is professional. This is really professional.
Is it the curtain?
There's a curtain.
The curtain is new. Tim, bring up the curtain shot.
The curtain. So the curtain. Not last time I was here. Last time I was here was the Beeline Coffee guy.
Yeah, Nick.
But before that, it was the audio guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You could do a curtain," and you were like, "No way!"
And here it is, the curtain.
I like the curtain more than like you could buy $5,000 microphones. Like no, you can't.
No. It was like you could buy a curtain.
Yeah,
we're doing the $5,000 microphone next.
Oh, nice.
No, it's not. It's these. We're getting all these.
This
is the demo.
I think that's what we use in our VO booth at work.
This is a nice. What is it? It's
I can't remember. But this part looks familiar.
It's really not important. We'll figure it out later.
It's really not important.
This is we're getting the rest. Anyway,
what kind of cables you running, bro?
Colored ones.
orange. This one's orange.
Yeah,
that's a
yellow.
red.
I got a yellow.
So
it's like Skittles flavors.
Yeah.
The new hosts of Head to Head.
That's right.
Should we make it like interview style? No.
If you want to.
I want to know. No, Jethro's like you carry across the pond. Like Harris before you. You are It makes him look smarter to have an Englishman.
Is that what it is?
100%.
I wondered why he called me.
100%. He was like, how do we class this place up a little bit?
Right.
It was getting a little too Jewy in there. The ratios were off, and he needed someone very, very white. No, an Englishman it's key to a car program.
Well, look, I mean, it wasn't that. It was that, with the exception of like you, there's very few people that I watch. And sweet, very few people I can learn anything from, and I've just to kiss your ass a little bit,
so nice.
Or since we're on this show, suck your dick a little bit. Yeah. I'm just like I could actually like improve. I could become better at what I do by working with this guy.
That's how I roll with Harris. Actually, I learned a lot from Harris on Drive.
Yeah,
it's very helpful.
Yeah.
You're very good. I have watched several of your OG English stuff. Actually, I saw a bit of the Wyra BC thing. That looked fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That car's a real piece of crap, huh?
Oh,
it's real terrible.
So ugly. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous.
I drove the Wyra before, and I liked it. It was a cool thing, but the BC's the next level. I just thought it was fantastic.
It's the most English thing you could say. That's like I think someone once wrote like a how to be a British journalist instruction manual in satire, and the first that's the number one thing is to take yesterday's hypercar and crap on it and then go into the
No.
They've added 10 millimeters of wheel space in the front, and now the steering is completely transparent.
No, the last Wyra I drove was like an early car, and so they're a long way down the line now. And the BC, they got a new test driver, they changed it. It's good. I was shocked how much I liked it actually.
But you've driven like Zondas quite a bit, right?
I've driven quite a few Zondas. I've
never had a go in a Zonda. Are they as great as everyone says they are?
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. I didn't drive any of the late ones, so I drove like all the C12, C12S, the F, but I never drove like a Cinque or a 760. But it's that engine. That engine is so good.
Which is why you get the header set for your S600, right? Just make it sound
right. Well, I drove. The only one I drove was F Roadster. And
was it the best thing ever?
No, I like the Wyra better personally.
Okay.
It was cool. I mean, I think I've told this story actually on the show before. That was the one where we were spent like a couple of days with the Wyra, and then to start the video, I was going to be driving a Zonda and be like, "What's the next evolution?"
But you shot it in reverse.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's a manual, right? So I'm backing the car out of Pagani's shop, and there's a tour bus full of people getting off, and they're staring like, oh my god, there's a Zonda, and I like stall it.
Oh yeah.
First time I tried to go in first gear, I just stall it in front of like a bus of 80 people. Yeah. It's like and then Tiff Nadell actually almost like T-boned the freaking thing.
What?
It was hysterical. Like we're sitting, like so.
Wait, you just happened to be there.
Well, so there's one road,
you were
right?
driving it, and he was in like a Fiat Punto.
No, he was in a Maserati.
Tiff turns up everywhere.
He was in a Maserati Ghibli.
Ubiquitous.
No, but there's like one road by that freaking factory, right? And there's one good road. in all of Modena. So anyways.
He's like Spider-Man, but trying to get hired all the time.
We hired him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
It's a good
Tiff
pull
and
as
Johnny
well.
Smith. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Oh, you're
Doing a
just
little
going
show.
full
All English. Yeah,
UK
Angus
thing.
is over there just like, going.
This
Wow.
is John. This is Johnny's last week.
All right. So when Jethro moves up and ditches you with
Right.
another Englishman, then we can
Yes,
do
finally.
the Two Loud Jews on
Yes,
Cars
yes.
show that we've always wanted
Well,
to do.
and Britain's slowly going to buy Americans. It'll be a strange cultural shift.
No, so anyway, I actually was sitting in the van with Victor Carrillo.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Victor and Luca Venturi, the legendary, the best name in the automotive
Yeah.
business.
He's awesome.
So we're sitting in the van, and Anthony Esposito, my old director, he was like, doing beauties of the car. So he's like, 9-point turning the Zonda across this 1-lane road in Italy, and all of a sudden this black Maserati, like at a ludicrous speed, a speed that we don't drive at. Like
No,
just
never. Not when those cars fly 3 feet in the air in
not
that
like
video.
I'm telling you,
No.
Tiff can drive. Like,
No.
yeah.
Not Tiff.
So, but what's funny
He
was,
stinks.
so like Victor sees it and he's like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be an accident." I see it and I'm like, "Well, there's a GoPro on the front of the car." And then Luca's like, "Yeah, it's Tiff." It's like, and
Wow.
inches from like hitting the door of the Zonda F, and it's like, "Oh, hello."
Oh,
You know?
man.
Wow.
I'll tell you what. That would have gotten more views than the video
Yeah, I
you
know.
actually
We
shot.
actually, I think we talked about that. He was still with fifth gear at the time, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
Good brakes on the
So-
Ghibli, huh?
Yeah,
Apparently.
well, not really, but anyways,
Good brakes on the driver.
I get the Zonda thing, but I thought the Wyra, I thought it was just mind blowing.
It is awesome. I think. Yeah, it was just the engine missed out a bit on the first one.
Yeah.
But now it's a monster, that BC.
What's
I
it
loved
making now?
Well,
Yeah,
this
you
is
never know.
This is the thing; it
Pagani.
changes. So
The ones built on Thursdays
Yeah.
make.
No, Michael Kubler built every single engine, but it's like one guy wanted a special this doodad.
Oh,
and one
yeah,
guy
yeah.
wanted- and then no one
Every-
knows anything.
They told me
It's all-
753. That was the last official, because everyone was saying on the comments, oh, it's 800 PS, but it's.
And I'm guessing they,
told me
wouldn't let you put it on
753.
the dyno.
Do they
Well,
have dynos in Italy?
Do you know
Right,
what?
yeah.
That's true.
It's an
Probably
AMG.
don't.
They probably would, but we haven't. We didn't have time for that. We had 2 days with the car.
It spin the hay churning machine at
Right.
3 RPM.
They
You're like,
don't, they don't
okay.
have Wi-Fi. Like a dyno's a.
They have great espresso makers.
Oh yeah,
They do.
You can't have a 5-second conversation with somebody over there without
That's
having
incredible.
an espresso.
Yeah.
The number of espressos.
And a cigarette. It's great.
I interacted with Alfa Romeo for 1 day last summer, and it was just 13 espressos. It took like hours and hours and hours to do anything.
No, it's awesome. Yeah.
It's kind of great.
Yeah,
We
it's
got
like,
there and they're
okay,
before we start
Golden
working,
hour, guys. It's the sun looks great. Oh yes, we will go. The first espressos it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Just-
No, that's the crazy thing about Italy is like it is the best country in the world, but you have to learn to deal with the bullshit. Like when we were doing that the Perfumonte video, right?
Yeah.
Among the 5,000 insane things they pulled, they go, "What else do you need? We really want to do this for you." And I go, "Okay, we need 2 days of unfettered access to the car. The car cannot magically disappear.
Yeah.
There's no 7-hour lunch. Like we just need the car."
The fact that you have to say this stuff is both unsurprising and sad.
And
Laughing to themselves, thinking there is no way we're going to do this, but we'll just say yes.
So then they're Volkswagen groups. I go, and we need a fast SUV, like a Cayenne Turbo or a
Yeah.
Q7, something that really moves with good suspension that we can film out of. Okay, great. That shows up, and then the SUV, it was a Q7, shows up with the driver. And I'm talking to this guy. I'm like, "Oh, so what do you normally do?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a personal trainer." I was like, "Oh, great. Have you ever done this before?" No. And so you know how you film car stuff, like it's pretty much stunt driving. The guy driving the camera car is going backwards at 40 miles an hour, and I'm going 170 miles an hour.
Having some experience is helpful.
And so I
little
say, "Hey, we don't need the driver. You must use the driver." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Insurance." I go, "You're letting me drive your $250,000 supercar on a track with no helmet, doing whatever I want with no supervision, but my guy can't drive a Q7." Yeah. And like they wouldn't let us. They wouldn't let us.
That's
and then
hilarious.
And then they go maybe tomorrow. And then we show up tomorrow. Okay, you could drive.
Tomorrow it was okay.
It was,
Oh.
but they were just proving a point. They're just proving a point that like they hired this
They
driver
are
and
in
we're gonna
charge.
freaking use him.
Oh my God.
just
Yeah.
insane. So,
Well,
yeah.
the video good. Ultimately,
The Perfumonte video was great. Yeah, but that was the other thing. We wanted 2 days of the track. They gave us 1 hour. We literally had
We've done
1
that.
hour
That's-
with the track to
That's good
ourselves.
going. with that. That's
we
good
did-
going. Normally
Why
it's
does
one
that
lap.
happen?
Yeah,
For,
so Catchpole had like more time
Yeah.
than I did. Either.
I think I did a Ventador SV, and they gave me one lap of
I was
in-car.
with you.
That
I
was
did
it.
that
one lap.
for drive. I did it in Miami. I got 3 laps at like 40 miles an hour and then 1 lap at pace.
They didn't
Awesome.
seem to care. They've sort of woken
That
up
was
to
actually a
video
track
a bit,
thing, not
but
the one
they
about the car.
before they
They
were
didn't
just
care
like,
about the car.
we don't care about video.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
They're literally not interested.
They're learning. I think Vickelman being out is actually a net positive for us types, because like he was just like, no, their clothes don't fit right. Like I don't want them in my
That's
car.
true. His
Yeah.
suits
Oh,
were
amazing.
spectacular.
Immense,
I mean, the guys' suits were spectacular.
Yeah, but now he's running Bugatti, so it's like good
Well,
luck ever touching one of
Great.
those.
I mean, I wasn't gonna get one of those anyway, so who gives a shit? Let him
I'm working
wear
on
his suits over there. Yeah. Well, you have a great business card.
Thanks.
Me, it wasn't happening.
Does he not care? Do they not care about video because they're like, we sell enough cars anyway, we don't need it?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
It depends what day they wake. One day they wake up, it's the most important thing in the world, and they'll give you like
Depends
2
who-
hours with a
depends
car.
who-
The next
whose
day they'll
idea
give you
it
2
was,
minutes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's their idea. Genius. It's your idea.
Well, I mean, like on that Performante thing, I was on. They had 2 video waves, and I was, of course, was such a giant whore that I went on both of them. But like they still gave us an hour each day. It's like they flew us to Italy for 2 hours of filming.
yeah.
So crazy.
The flight to Italy from LA for 2 hours is rough.
Yeah, I'm doing it
That's-
for 4 hours next weekend.
That's
so, yeah.
super. What are you driving next weekend?
I
over
can't
there?
talk about it.
Really?
Yeah, new Lambo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the truck. It's a truck.
The truck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have they come up with a name for it yet?
Yeah,
It's
Urus.
It's Urus?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't
I'll
know.
have driven it by the
I
time.
didn't know if they were sticking with that. But
Yeah, it's a
All right.
bull. It's whatever.
Is it going to be cool? No?
No.
I got a head shake.
Stink eye over there.
I don't. Why didn't they bring out like a new interpretation of the LM002? That would have
based on
been
the
cool.
Q7.
Oh,
but why-
so they're
but
stuck
why-
with the same limitations the Bentayga has.
But it
so
doesn't
it's going to
need-
look
It doesn't need to
weird.
look like an X6. It needs. I don't know why they've
They
done
sell
that.
a lot of X6s.
Yeah, but they sell a lot of G wagons as well.
That's
Imagine
true.
if they brought out a
Raptors and
G-Wagon.
G-Wagons
Like,
sell like crazy.
That is
Except
true.
they sell a
Raptors-
lot
Raptors-
more X6s than G-Wagons and Raptors multiplied by each other. They sell a lot of X6s.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if you could get a Lamborghini that looked, G-Wagon cool,
I mean, that would be
It would be
exceptionally
awesome.
cool and dumb and cool.
Yeah.
And also dumb.
preferably with a rear engine V12. or something.
yeah, that
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
practical.
I don't know. I haven't driven it yet.
You know what I would
will
like
let you
to
know.
see? A Huracan-based, like, sand rail. Like, if you put, like, super extended control arms
totally
on a
agree with
Huracan, it would be, like, the most kick-ass sand rail ever.
It would look like that buckshot thing. A little
Yeah.
bit, similar lines to that.
Yeah,
It would be
yeah.
Beastie.
Yeah.
Well, I drove that weird Mercedes E400.
Oh, the E-Class?
Wow, yeah.
The all-terrain square.
Was it awesome?
Yeah, it was really, really good.
I
Yeah, it was-
told-
it was,
you know,
it was
listen,
like really, really good.
About
Someone
8
asked me to
minutes
buy
before
it.
you walked in the door,
Yeah.
I said, we're not letting Lieberman talk about G-Wagons.
I didn't bring up the
I brought it
G-Wagon.
up, I'm sorry.
I didn't bring up the G-Wagon.
Mark the time.
There's a thing you need to know, Jethro, which is that you can't let him talk about G-Wagons
Yeah,
because he won't stop talking about
Yeah.
G-Wagons.
Well, this was a station wagon.
Fair play.
It was a G-Wagon underneath.
But there was a G-Wagon
No,
underneath
no,
it,
no,
right?
no,
Just
no.
G-Wagon portal axles. Though.
No. They are E-Class portal axles that they just fabbed
His
up.
favorite expression I've found is portal axles. Like it's like every other sentence mentions
That's his
them.
username on Craigslist, Men Seeking Men, also. Coincidentally.
Portal axle, half shaft. Props.
Portal axle seeking
no,
half shaft.
there's actually all custom. It's totally custom portal axles. And anyways, moving on. It's badass. It's cool, and they're gonna build it, so it's really cool.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah.
How much?
A lot.
150?
But
So
Are
funny.
they
if
really
you think
gonna build
about
it?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
someone at Mercedes go, hey, look at this shit I'm about to sell them for so much money.
But if you think about it, look, right, 6x6, right?
Yeah, like
750
that.
grand a pop.
Yeah.
And they were going to sell 60, they sold 200.
Yeah, they're lining up.
Yeah. Okay. The G650 Londelay,
Yeah.
right? That was 600 grand a pop.
Yeah.
Built 99, sold them.
Printing money.
The
Printing money.
I'm talking about the G-Wagon, with the 4x4 square.
Yeah, I know.
Right? They sold 1,000 in the first year. They thought they'd sell 1,000 during the entire production run. So they have yet to lose a dime on portal axles. So they're like, what else can we put on fucking portal
told you.
axles?
Anything, man.
You know what I like about that?
That's 3 in a row. 3 sentences in a row.
That G squared thing fits perfectly in the Instagram window.
Yes.
That's why it sells so well. It's
You
very
know,
Instagram
Hennessy's
friendly.
tuning them now.
Is he?
Yeah, because they were only like 450 horsepower, but he can pop them up to like I don't know 700.
That's what
I think
want.
just 700, but still
88-inch wheelbase. And
Yeah.
700 horsepower.
Yeah.
I just met a guy who's turning Wranglers into 6x6s.
Oh,
Which is pretty cool.
get him
actually.
here.
cool,
Get him
yeah.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, he's building them in California.
Oh, fun.
Port
I
axles?
drove his vehicle for
No, just regular. Solid action.
he drove the most hilarious car you've ever seen. It was a Rentec SL55 from like '04, and it had all kinds of crazy stuff on
Like
it.
7 superchargers,
All
420 horsepower.
kinds of weird stuff. Yeah, body panels are very different and very weird looking. It was cool. Though.
Awesome.
He knew exactly what it was, and it was hysterical. It was
That's
a
good.
baseball player's car. Imagine what like an ace baseball player would buy new
Yeah.
in '04.
Oh yeah. Well, I
know.
saw like a Lorenzer, like S63 or something. So bad. It just had like squares cut into the body.
Yeah.
It was so
Jethro, how are you finding the LA car scene so far?
Yeah, I've been out here quite a lot in the past anyway. I love the car culture out here. It's awesome.
We talked to you like, how is your first time?
Yeah, how
in
is my
America?
first time?
No, I mean, you hung out with Sharky and stuff. I remember you slid that corner, and I was sort of like, oof, that was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
In that blue car.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
closed road.
gnarly, my
Yeah,
Closed
of course.
road.
Oh,
Yes.
for sure.
That's
None of
why-
us know where that is.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I love it out here. It's awesome. There's proper car culture. There's like just a feeling that you can enjoy cars without feeling guilty. I think in England we've almost lost that completely. It's
Oh.
just like
Guilty
that-
how?
You
it's
can't-
just like
you can't
you're
ball
like a
out. It's a
social pariah
non-ballic,
if you
really?
like cars. Yeah, there's like few exceptions. So Goodwood is okay to like Goodwood.
Okay.
That's about it. And then
Really?
like the rest of the time you're just horrible because you like
Why?
cars
But
and
it's a country that follows racing so closely.
yeah, and we
other
buy
things.
loads of performance cars, but we're all like
And
a
you got
se-
lots of racetracks.
yeah,
too.
but we're like a secret little club, and we're all a bit ashamed. And
But
I,
it's like,
I think it
it's like
sucks.
If
It's
you've
such a
driven
shame.
around, like not only London but like England lately, like everything's a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. London, they want the car gone. They just do everything.
London sucks, but it's
just-
been like that forever.
Yeah,
but
but
there's
it's
still,
getting
there are
worse.
still great
the
places.
English countryside is like a really nice place to drive a car.
There is, yeah. You have to travel now,
Parts of
but
it.
it's
I've had some great drives in London.
We've had some
England.
scary drives though, where it's like there's traffic, but the roads are so narrow that it's like a golf cart like
Yeah.
path, and so that's not fun. That's just like ah.
No, it's annoying, but
I was there last Christmas and we got a C63 wagon, and I drove from like the airport to Manchester to London to Brighton. Never opened it up, not once. There's just nowhere to do it.
yeah.
And
I
it
mean,
just
you are lucky
sucked.
here, though. Come on.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, Jesus.
Yeah, I live,
but you have
9
the
miles from Angeles Crest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've
here
got
is-
Angeles Crest on your doorstep,
Yeah.
you're winning basically.
we don't here, but we have other nice things here.
Yeah.
It's a lot cooler here than it is in Glendale normally.
Yeah, but
But it's
I
only,
have to-
it's,
but I have to
it's up the
I
road.
have to transit to Angeles Crest.
but I
yeah.
took them the bottom of Mulholland the other day.
Oh, the backside?
Yeah.
In
That sounds
Malibu?
great.
It's
Yeah,
lovely.
the part
That's
that
awesome
one
as
knows
well.
about.
Malibu's a really good place to drive if you're just going for a drive. It just sucks to film because there's houses up there, and
Yeah.
it's a bit of a. It's just like you don't
Not
want
if-
to be
Not
that.
if you have the cops.
No, if you have permits, just do whatever you want.
Yeah,
you
we do.
guys. I'm honestly like I'm
We do.
jealous because like you guys get to do that kind of stuff, and we only get occasionally they'll give us like a little taste.
Yeah, I've not done that before. Having the cops on your side.
Oh, isn't it the
is-
best?
it's just-
Weird.
it still freaks me out
They
though.
let
Every,
go
every
all
time I look in the
kinds
mirror
of
and see
info.
them, I'm like, I need to be slowing down or running away.
How many
But
cops
actually,
did we
it's
have
like
last night?
last night we had 8 cops.
Oh yeah, you did what
In
you did
downtown.
Shut
so-
down, literally shut down downtown Los Angeles.
Based on your Instagram, it seems like you guys spent a lot of time on that video.
It was a lot, but like we shut down. I mean,
cool,
it was most of downtown LA was closed off.
Were you like
it was
Second
insane.
Street Tunnel or whatever it is? and all
Oh,
that stuff?
we had both tunnels. We had like in front of the Broad, like Grand. We had Lower Grand, Upper Grand. We had First Street.
We were
had
like drifting
Spring
right in
Street.
front of LAPD.
That's so fun.
It was
It was
so
insane.
cool.
I'm coming out of the
Is
tunnel.
that car
at
that
$1.25.
crazy?
The performance is unbelievable.
That's what Harris was like. Harris, we saw him last week, and he said it was next level.
It feels 2 generations on from like a 488. I'd say it's
That's
not.
crazy.
It's not that much faster than a 488, but just everything else about it. I was surprised how mad
It is, by the way, though. In every way, it is quicker than a 488.
Yeah.
Even the press car that we had, it's quicker than that. This thing is mental.
Yeah,
it's,
no,
it's
everyone
P1.
says
It's
yeah,
P1.
That's what Harris said.
Yeah, it's
Says
up there.
P1 fast. That's
It's up there.
crazy.
Yeah,
And it's got,
My new obsession is the NSX. which
yeah,
I
I've
love.
heard this.
You
Yeah,
I
like
love,
it?
I love it. Yeah, I do.
I saw your Instagram.
Yeah,
You
I'm a
loved
huge
it.
fan
which
of it.
NSX?
The Acura NSX, the new
Really?
one. Yeah, the new one.
So how long did you have it?
A week.
What do you like about it?
It was so, dude. The ability to carry speed confidently over uneven pavement was incredible for me. Like the way it managed like bumps mid corner. Yeah, I really liked it.
I drove it a year ago, and I was just like, it was okay. But I'm like, you're launching a $185,000 mid-engine supercar at like the Audi R8, and
I drove one back to back with an Audi R8, and I found it to be much faster.
Really?
Yeah.
The one I drove just didn't feel finished.
It was slower.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you drove it. Maybe you guys were part of that early wave that drove.
I drove
heard rumors of unfinished cars.
I drove 2, and they didn't feel finished.
Really?
Yeah.
The 2 I drove, one was a VIR, and it was insanely fast. And then I got one here for a week and drove it every day and thought it was great. Yeah.
Because, I mean, look, we measured it against the R8 Spider, V10, whatever, not Spider, the V10 Plus.
Yeah.
And it was slower in every way. And like slower in a straight line, slower on a track, slower on a
I don't know.
And it just kind of
they must be working on it because I think they knew
it's like
it wasn't
McLaren.
finished.
They just keep
cranking it.
The cars I drove are
updating.
both incredible.
Okay,
honestly.
well, I'll ask
We need
Actor
to get
for
one in.
I would.
again.
Apparently, I got one in a bunch just arrived. Finally, like there's actual cars to drive. I think in the beginning they had very early cars.
Was yours the red one?
No, I had
Yeah,
the
it's
gray.
gray,
We had,
wasn't
we had a
dark
blue
gray.
one though at VIR.
The blue one
for
at
the shoot,
VIR.
and then you had the dark gray
Dude,
one.
at VIR, this car was dirty fast. I was going up the S's at VIR at like 140 miles an hour. It was awesome.
Because I could
And
look,
I could drift it. It was great.
That's
look
one
it up,
thing
but
it
I mean,
does
it's not
a lot
that
of drifting.
quick.
It slides really good.
I drove one on the crappy. What are the standard tires? They're
yeah.
they're made
Yeah.
of like concrete
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
They're so bad. And
I slid it on the Trofeo R's, which
Yeah.
I really liked.
I drove it on Trofeo R's, but it was
seemed
raining.
I remember
so it
the
wasn't
first
so good.
launch that happened. Everyone came out of it complaining about it. I wasn't there, but and then I talked to Harris about that 6 months later, and he had driven it on the better tires, and he's like, it changes the whole car. And when they drove it on the wrong thing, blah blah blah. So maybe they were trickling out these changes like tires and mapping.
I only
and
drove it
stuff.
on the better tires. And it was just very middling. I was just like, I remember having a long drunken talk with a whole bunch of sad Acura people. I'm like, look, for that money, you could get a 570S. Like, why would I buy this car? And you could get an Audi. You could
Every
get
570S I've had has acted up on me.
Well, they are British,
And the Acura did not. It behaved
tradition.
itself really well.
Yeah.
That's something that remains to be seen. But if it proves true, like everything else Honda makes, that would be like the separation.
I thought the real difference to me is in what the front motors are doing. What the way it pulls out of a corner.
I read
is
about
crazy.
that.
See, that's the thing I didn't find because I wanted it to be like a 918 Spider
Yeah,
in miniature,
yeah.
and I just
That's
wanted
exactly what mine felt like.
But
They
I just
must
wanted
have-
more power on the front. I was like, I don't
They
feel
must
it's
have
doing what it's
recalibrated.
meant
must
to
have
do.
done some
This
big
is
things.
like because I had a 570 GT for a week, and I had a
that
488 for a week,
car,
and I
yeah.
drove an R8 very recently.
Yeah.
And all of them felt less confident in the front end than the NSX did.
Really?
The NSX
Wow.
had
Even the
pretty much
488?
the,
Because the
the
488
488 is very confident,
Yeah.
but I think the like there are moments in transitionary, like when
488s
you
are
get
quite
that
soft,
kind of
yeah.
you get that negative G section like up on like Upper Big Tahunga, like there's a bump. There's a couple certain spots, where you get that that oh shit moment.
Yeah.
Never got that in the NSX. I never got it once.
Wow.
They must have done something.
Try it if you guys have enough pull, you could call another one out of the.
Get
out
one
of
in.
the
I'm
league.
gonna
I would
text-
try it again
I'm gonna
because
get
I'm
one right
telling
now.
you, like, I really, really enjoyed the car. It was really, really
we need to-
shockingly
Well,
good.
speaking
fun.
of,
you know what I didn't enjoy about it? It didn't feel like it launched very hard. They quote a fast number, but it didn't have
The
that.
launch control's only like 1500
no, it
RPM
was
or
weak.
something
It
weird.
didn't have
Yeah.
the shove of the turbo. Of
No,
the
it's
911s
it's
or
like
something.
look, so like a Turbo S is like 10.5 seconds, and this thing, if I remember correctly, it was like 11.2. So it's a world beating
Yeah, no,
supercar.
it just
but
the 0 to 20 wasn't
yeah.
that kind of G-force shove you on. It wasn't. But whatever. I love the
you should drive the 720 because it's.
I talked to JP. You guys obviously get priority, but I'm in line to get
Yeah,
it at some point,
'cause,
probably
like,
December.
It's a spaceship. Like
you-
it's like falling off a building when you just hit the throttle.
You
It's
said something a long
it's
time
so
ago
crazy.
about the Hennessy Venom, where you're like, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So the last 15% of the engine on this car is terrifying.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Your brain is like, I can't process this
Yeah.
quick.
But McLarens have always had that crazy top end.
I
But this has got it
completely-
all.
this
It's got
puts
it
the power
everywhere.
down. This puts the power down. It's
Yeah,
awesome. It's awesome.
I drove that 3 turbo thing. You see this one?
No.
It's a company out of North Carolina called Hypercar Development, and they built. Timmy, can you pull up a picture of that? The Hyper 1200. They have the 2 turbos into a third turbo.
Nice.
And it's
That's something like I would design.
Bro,
into a V12.
The third one is fucking 88 millimeters.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like you
It's a
get
bus
the
turbo,
double, the whoom, whoom, like I just
What
I
is
just
the
did
car?
Bub
Yeah.
Rub, by the
Bub
way.
Rub.
There, that's the car. That's
So it's a McLaren
there's
based
there's
thing.
Alex Goy. Just go out. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Well, how's it sound now?
Did it feel good?
All right. Well, audience, I apologize if we had an error. We're going back to see if you can find an engine picture. So it basically, it's really hard to see the motor in the car. So they might have a picture before they put the rear bumper on or something. But it sounds like a turbocharged car getting its teeth drilled, and it goes really goddamn fast. But the top end, you know, like the Venom GT. That last 10% of throttle and revs is, oh no, I don't even like this anymore.
I want to drive a Venom. That looks
The
unreal.
Venom was so
That looks
fun.
unreal. Yeah.
People can shit on John and his company and his cars all they want. Anyone who had 10 seconds of seat time in the Venom was like, oh, okay.
Well, all these cars, though. I mean, I've never drove that, but I've driven a ton of
His cars are fast as
They're
fuck.
awesome.
Yeah,
like,
they're all
like,
so fast.
What don't you like about
I
them?
don't
Like
know.
it's like he takes a 700 horsepower car and makes it 1200.
And it'll work in the heat and everywhere,
Yeah,
which
and it works.
we filmed,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
100 tuning companies, and
Yeah,
that's not always
no,
the case.
Other
Normally
tuning
they don't
companies
work for 5
and then you
seconds.
die.
The Venom I did 0 to 200 in 15.2 seconds with the top down, the roof off.
It's crazy.
And then I did it, and then I did it again with a fucking 5D Mark II, triangulated outside the windshield in front of my face. I did 200 miles an hour in 17.3 or something.
Is it literally a Lotus Exige chassis underneath?
No,
at
well,
least tub?
it's a tub. It's a
Yeah.
Lotus Exige tub
Yeah.
that is reinforced with a cage. It's a caged Lotus Exige tub.
Yeah.
With extruded aluminum, new extruded aluminum subframes front and rear, with a Penske designed inboard rear suspension.
Wow.
I mean, like, is it gonna outhandle an Agera R? Like, probably not. But like, it has the goods.
I've heard
to
good
get a-
things. One of the guys I knew at Evo drove it, and
Yeah.
he loved it.
No, it drives.
And
it
he'd
drove
driven
well.
everything. He
And it's
said
a-
it was great.
Yeah, and Dickie.
Yeah, Dickie drove
Dickie
it.
was there when we
Yeah,
drove
that's
it
right,
too.
yeah.
I love Dickie. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
great. And
Yeah,
we
he
had a
loved
great
it.
time.
Yeah, he came back raving about
It-
the
it
car.
And it's
wakes
the
up your-
Ricardo gearbox out of the 4G. Sorry, Zach.
It's okay. It wakes your eyeballs up, man. Like, I just rode in it. I didn't drive it, and I was like, what is happening right now? Because it's just, and the wind's going over your head, and you've got the lattice structure, and it's just an
It
experience.
was super, super crazy. And because they lengthened the wheelbase and stiffened the frame, it rides really well. It's got magnetic shocks.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
I think it looks awesome.
And people are like,
Yeah.
oh, it looks like a Lotus. I go, no. You don't give him credit for not building something ugly. Remember, like, the SSC Ultimate Aero?
whatever happened to that?
It's heinous. Nobody wanted
it's
it.
holding
Nobody knows
doors
how fast
with
it
it.
goes when
Happened
it's
to
that
them.
ugly.
Yeah, but there was that great story that they did like 248 on the road.
I was
somewhere.
involved in
Some
that.
like
I was- I was-
75-year-old
weren't you
dude
there?
did it.
No. I'll tell you exactly.
What was
this
the
is
guy?
funniest
This is
story.
back in the day.
So
What was
the
that
guy,
guy's
the
name?
PR
The
guy, I forget the guy's name was Shelby. So
No, yeah,
SSC.
Jared Shelby
Yeah,
was
but it was,
the-
but it
no,
was the
but the guy-
Junis Khan.
Junis Khan, the coolest
greatest.
guy
yeah.
ever.
The other
I-
name that was so good. Junis Khan.
Junis versus Luca,
Yeah,
who has the better
Junis
name?
Khan, yeah.
I think Junis Khan has a better
So-
name.
so-
That's
but-
a good,
so-
like, overlord name.
So I was, I was at the time. This is like 12 years ago. I was working at Jalopnik, and we had nothing to do. So I'm like, I'm writing about this car faster than a Veyron.
Yeah.
And so this guy, Junis Khan, like gets in touch with me, and he's like, hey, if we want to like be the fastest car in the world, what do we do? And I'm like, I'm an idiot. I'm like, I would call Guinness, and they did.
But
and
they
they
closed
got
the road out in the desert, didn't they?
it was
Yeah.
up in Washington.
Yeah.
Washington
Okay.
State.
Oh,
But
Washington.
here's the funniest thing ever. So it was like the Bull Run, or I don't even know, one of those horrible things. And here comes an SSC, and it pulls up, and I peek, and there's Junis Khan,
Yeah.
who I'd never met. Now, the guy driving the car was some actor named Jason Statham. So
no one's ever heard of.
I rushed the car, Junis, and Statham's like, who's this weirdo, and like Junis doesn't know what I look like, and he's kind of like getting me away from
That's
Mr. Statham,
so
and I'm like,
funny.
karate fighting Statham to try and talk to Junis, and like he wouldn't let me drive the car. Long story
That
short.
is
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what do
yeah.
they build? 4 of them, maybe?
Well, then they made
5?
that Tutuoa, or the
Tuatara.
Tuatara, yeah,
They
yeah.
hired
yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Castriota.
Yeah.
And it looked very pretty, actually, the
kind of,
design.
yeah. It looked
did
like
that
it looked like it
happen?
never
No,
ran.
that
it
didn't
never,
happen.
No.
It never moved a foot under its
No.
own power. It had that look to it.
I'm not sure it ever got anything past a CAD drawing. They were
Well,
built
no,
a
they
car?
had one at Pebble on the concept lawn.
Oh.
But it really
no.
had the look of like not a real
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, the Ultimate Arrow 2 was good looking. The first one was like kind of
First one looked like a really sad Diablo.
Vectory.
It was
Yeah.
Looked like a slightly melted Diablo.
But
Have
they
you seen
closed
a
the road
Vector yet?
and they got a guy to do 248 or
Yeah.
whatever, and he was like 75 or
Yeah,
78
some
years
super
old.
old driver,
yeah, real
right?
old dude. And I was like, that's cool. I don't care. It doesn't matter. They never built any.
no,
That's a
everyone
cool
else
thing
said
to
no
do.
because it was like a 2-lane road with a little undulation.
And
in
you had,
it.
like,
Guys,
Ooh.
can we get someone with maybe nothing to lose?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can we find
But I met, dude. I remember years ago. I was out. Of
Granddad, what are you doing at the weekend?
He's the guy in Independence Day that flies the plane like into the spaceship. I can do it, man.
No, but years ago, I remember I was out of Bonneville and
Randy.
I met this dude. I'll never forget his name, Kenny Baker, and he looked like Elvis if he was still alive. He had like white pompadour and giant white sideburns, and he was like consulting for somebody on like a land speed record car. And I'm like, and he had like 40 records, you know. And I was like, so Kenny,
This
like,
name sounds familiar.
you might have met him. This old salt urchin. And I'm like, Kenny, so
Salt
like,
urchin.
what's the fastest you ever gone, man? And he's like, 390 miles an hour. But that was sketchy because, you know, right before 400, I heard a noise and the cabin like filled up with black smoke. And I'm like, at 390 miles. I'm like, well, Kenny, what'd you do? He's like, well, I slowed down to about 90, then I jumped out. I'm like, what? He's like, well, otherwise you die. And I go, oh my God. And I'm like, and he's like 75 years old. I'm like, Kenny, when was this? He's like, oh, it was last year.
2016.
So, you know, these guys are tough. You
Yeah.
know, like,
That shit is crazy.
40 speed records.
Someone's like, "Why are you wearing
40.
motorcycle leathers in your car?" Like, you know why?
Yeah.
I jump out at 90 miles an hour.
Have you been out to Bonneville?
No.
Oh yeah. Have you at least gone to El Mirage?
I
yet?
went to El Mirage.
El Mirage is
El
a
Mirage is
gem,
cool.
isn't it?
Yeah, I loved it.
How
I thought
fast
it was-
did you go?
I didn't go fast at all. Last time I was here, we were doing loads of shoots, and there was a speed event on, so we just went to watch. So I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even drive it, but it was awesome.
Wait, was this the one that we went to?
Might have
Did
been.
it get rained out and everyone had to bail out in like a super hurry?
No, it was back in.
This one was
It was like
20
February or something like that.
Okay, we were there
I
in
think,
December
I think we were there
2015.
before that,
Okay.
but like everything was fine, and then like a rain and sandstorm
Yeah,
came out of
rain
nowhere,
messes those places
and
up,
and
yeah.
everyone just like packed up and bailed out in like
So
a half hour.
have you driven? Can you just drive down there when there's
Fuck
not an
yes,
event
you
on?
can.
Yeah. Do you have $15?
You got $15
So
to
you
get
pay
in.
your money, you go on, and you just
Dude,
drive.
yeah, I drove a Panamera Turbo S, 187 miles an hour across that lake bed, and I did 178 or so in a CTSV wagon. Anything you got, just go out there. You get 3.2 miles.
That's insane.
It's the best.
What is it
Bonneville-
marked out, or you
Bonneville's
just
free.
No,
aim?
you pull up
just
your map.
aim?
You just gotta pull up your map screen, and that's how you
And
know.
hope there's no one coming
What
the
you
other
do
way.
is you pull out your American dick and you say, "I can do this." And they say, "Do you want a safety regulation?" You say, "Fuck you, safety
You
regulation."
do a few scouting runs, and there are a few visual cues. One end it just kind of like ends and becomes desert and becomes like shrub. The other end it gets a little bouncy and wavy, and like so if you slow down as soon as you hit the first kind of set of bounces, you're fine.
That's heading east back
Heading
towards
east,
like
yeah.
the building.
the building.
But
thing.
Bonneville's free.
yeah,
I went.
Bonneville- but it's
Bonneville
in
is
Utah.
12 miles. It's
But
not
it's in
3 miles.
Utah.
I
This
went
is here.
I did the Ford
Yeah.
GT launch, and then because we were nearby, we were like, we'll go to Bonneville, but it was all underwater. But
yeah.
it looked
cool looking.
I've
isn't it?
done
so
I think
cool.
at Bonneville. I did
Awesome.
like 193, something like
In
that.
what?
AMG GTS prototype.
Oh,
like
cool.
One of those green.
Oh,
What,
one
you
of
can
the
just-
green
so you can
goblins,
just drive
yeah.
on that as well.
Yeah. You can
I mean,
just drive.
there's no one there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you die, no one cares.
El Mirage is a park, so you have to go to a booth. And
If you
pay
die
to
there,
keep
you're
it.
turned into
Bonneville's
jerky.
probably a park, but there's no people.
You don't want to die near Wendover or whatever
No.
it's called. Though. I mean,
No,
that's
no.
a sad end
That
for anyone.
window is where that's where Mormons run across the border to yell shit. I had a drag queen describe Wendover to me that way one time.
That's great.
That's the best description of a place ever.
It's true.
What
But,
what's driving on salt like compared to driving on El Mirage, which is like clay?
Salt is you just start slow.
Yeah.
You know, you just start slower than you do on sand. At least I've done El Mirage, and there's that one.
You can get a pretty decent. I mean, maybe not first gear, but you can
launch.
get on the
It's
floor
well
in
packed.
second gear. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
well packed.
you're sort of sliding like laterally on salt up until you get about 60 miles an hour. The car kind of like sits
Yeah.
down, and then it's just weird because the color's so weird. It's just white.
Yeah.
and so
Freaks you out.
So luckily I was there with AMG, and what they do is they put orange cones every mile.
Really?
And so, but it's like 200. I'm good, but it's like 200 feet wide. So it's just crazy because, like, you sort of see them way off in the distance, and then as you're going faster and faster, they're coming faster, and it is 12 miles, so it's pretty good course length. But it's cool. It's like driving fast anywhere. Be smooth and calm, and it's not a big deal at all.
El Mirage actually has. I love it. Most people don't know about it, but they have good off-road trails.
You're talking bullshit.
Your RS5 video.
Smooth and calm.
In a straight line. just that one little thing. I kind of forgot how the Nürburgring went for a hot second.
Oh, we want to build the Dirtberg ring. You can get like 100 acres of desert for nothing. We want to build a scale Nürburgring in dirt.
In like Landers or something.
Yeah, just middle of nowhere.
Well, Reno Fernley Racetrack, which is probably also for sale for $10.
Oh my God! What a great racetrack that doesn't exist anymore.
But they were building the Nürburgring. They were going to build a 13-mile track. I
heard that.
And they got
That's
to
probably
4 miles and like sued each other out of existence. But
Was there a new post like 2 months ago of some guy in Vegas who wants to again build the longest racetrack?
Well, it's Spring Mountain. That's Spring
Oh,
Mountain.
it is Spring
Yeah,
Mountain.
it's Spring Mountain.
I thought it was a
Spring
whole
Mountain's
separate company.
funny, like, because it's like the Nürburgring is the Nürburgring because there's like a fucking town inside it. Like it's
Loads of towns.
Yeah, it goes around. Like Spring Mountain is a very nice racetrack, but they basically are trying to build inside of like a square, plot of Nevada desert. So it's almost like
how big is it?
It's almost looks like a game board
moment.
version of a racetrack.
yeah,
with
at the
fucking
moment, it's like 5 miles.
Yeah, it's long,
It was small.
but it's no Nürburgring.
No, that's the other thing too. Is that the Nürburgring isn't really even a racetrack because it's just you never really hit the brakes. You're just kind of going, Like
That's what racetracks used to be like.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Big Willow. You just go.
Have you driven some super scary vintage race cars before that were kind of fitted to old school tracks like that?
No, the only thing I drove recently was that. What's that Bugatti replica thing?
Oh, Persang.
Yeah, the Persang.
Oh, were you with John Bothwell?
Yeah.
Oh,
which
he's
I
the
loved.
greatest, isn't he?
Yeah, that was awesome.
The Type 35.
Yeah.
Super fun.
It was fast.
Didn't it drive nice?
Yeah, really good to drive, really quick. And
Yeah.
but anyone who drove those things back in the day was...
Can you imagine racing those
They were
fucking
insane.
things?
They were on really good drugs, or they
Yeah,
were just
yeah.
completely
I've heard
insane.
other people told me the really good drugs thing.
It must be.
They said they
Everyone
were
was on
all
really
on
good drugs.
fucking speed and shit.
Yeah, no, they were
Imagine
like-
doing the 24 hours of Le Mans with two.
But they used to
Two
do it with one
drivers in those
person,
cars?
yeah.
No, that's the Millie. Do the Millie. Do 10 hours flat out. It was just.
Oh,
well,
they were definitely...
That
No,
was
they
drugs.
talked about it.
That
Yeah.
was
Sterling
drugs.
Moss talked about
That
it.
was the gumball.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's drugs. Like
That's what the new one is.
That was back
It's
when you
the
could get,
gumball for trillionaires.
That's
instead
what
of
Alex Roy
billionaires.
says. Yeah.
Yeah.
He says when you're two baller for the actual gumball, you
Yeah,
just do
you
the
can't
melee.
do the melee.
It's
Yeah,
the
that's
same
what it
shit.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except the Millie is awesome. I mean, it's really, really. If you ever.
Well, he says Alex said he saw multiple accidents that were really bad and completely unreported on the Millie when he
There's
was
no
there.
report. Like two buddies hit each other. Why would you report
God,
that?
Mercedes,
And also, Alex. By the way,
SL
I
Gullwing
love
upside
Alex.
down in tree.
I love Alex. Alex just sent me a text. Blah blah blah. But Alex showed up to fuck with the Millie. He didn't really show up to be like, this is a cool event because
But he did a really good job writing about it, and it was funny.
Yeah, but
I've seen both sides.
Yeah, it's a really fucking cool.
Of course,
event.
some of it's
No.
cool, but some of it is a bit wankerish, I think.
I went to the
stopped
Monaco
for 4
Grand Prix,
beers,
and I would
you
say
know?
the same thing about that. Some
Sure.
of it is cool, and some of it is extremely
Yeah, but
wankerish, to put it.
I saw him
in your
there, and I
terms.
talked to him. He showed up with an agenda. Like he was like, "I'm gonna trash this thing." My
That's fair.
yeah,
That's
my
fair.
premise is that this is for people that are too douchey for the gumball. Or whatever.
That's completely fair.
Yeah,
it's
and
completely fair.
He was wrong.
But he did a good job writing
really
about
cool
it,
people.
and therefore
Yeah.
I kind of agree with him. He was very persuasive.
I wrote some nice stuff too. Anyways, moving on. So I gotta pick a bone to pick with you. I got a bone to pick with you.
shit.
Yeah. All right.
Here we
So,
go.
I love you.
Oh no.
Yeah, I
Oh
love
no.
you.
Wow,
I love
starting
you.
off
Yeah,
strong.
Yeah, yeah. I've
You're
been
very
wanting-
talented.
I've been wanting to work with you for
Great cook.
I don't know, 10 years, 12 years, however long it's been, right? I'm working with this guy now, and I bring this up because you were talking some smack on the Civic Type R.
By smack, do you mean facts?
No, but no.
Because I was saying facts about the
No,
Civic
you
Type
were not.
R.
You were not, because we have driven this car. I got proof, and he'll back me up. Harder than you drove it, and it in hotter places, and it does not overheat. And every little 12-year-old on the internet's like, Matt Ferris says it overheats.
Now you know what it's like to be me. When everyone asks me about the rear differential in my Focus RS,
no.
quote,
Back
overheating,
back to the Civic.
which it doesn't do. However, okay,
Yeah,
so my
we
car
had, not
overheated.
Even us two, not even us two. We had.
So when my
Popes,
car overheats, what am I supposed to say?
we had, hang on.
So who's-
you
what
you
was
say
it?
I had an early
I had a
build,
Civic Type R. I
early
don't know.
build car.
No.
It wasn't?
You know
must
the
have been.
numbers next to the shifter?
Yeah.
It was 997.
This was your car or
No,
or a
press
test
car. Press
Yeah.
car. Got it in Atlanta.
Yeah.
For a track event at Road Atlanta. The
Okay.
car was fine on the road. It drove nice. It had good tires on it. It seemed
It's a good car.
well prepared. I liked it a lot, actually. I really enjoyed driving it as a road car. And the temperature, it was a hot day, hot and humid. You know, it's Atlanta in August.
Yeah.
So
Humid's all right. Hot's
it was
bad.
like probably low 90 degrees.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
was early in the day, so it was like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe. Humid, but not like sweltering. Road Atlanta, lap 1, okay. Lap 2, the temp goes to about 3/4.
You had a bad
Lap
car.
3, it went to H. I cranked the heat, full blast, and it
Yeah.
came down to 3/4, and it stayed there for about 5-6 more laps, and then started to creep back up again. Let it shut down, and that was when I did the video.
You had a bad
And it-
car. Because
okay.
we had not only us, but take us off the table. We had Randy Popes out in the streets. You know how hot it's been this week.
It's possible
Hang
I
on.
had a bad
And we
car.
had Scott fucking Dixon,
Okay.
beating the snot out of this thing. No overheating.
Listen.
The temperature gauge didn't move.
Okay.
And he
Back
was on
me
it
up.
all day. He was
So
on it all
here's the
day.
other
Yeah,
thing.
back
so
me up.
when I believe, I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I believe you.
Just
I believe
retract your
I
experience.
believe your experience.
We
with
can't do
your-
that.
Listen,
I've driven 4 of them now.
Listen,
They're
I
awesome.
believe your experience with your car, just like you got to believe my experience
No,
with my
I
car.
can't
My
believe-
car overheated on me.
No, what'd you do
My
wrong?
car also,
That's
my
not
car
fair.
also threw a low tire pressure code when the tires were fine. Okay, and my car also went through a tank of fuel in 16 laps,
Well,
full
that's,
to empty.
that's okay.
Yeah.
So
That's fine.
these are just things
That's
that
just a
happen.
reflection of what a great
Yeah.
driver you
But
are.
it's just
That's probably what it is.
But it's
These
just
are just things that happen with the fucking car. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I liked the car. I thought it was fun.
It's
I enjoyed
a
it. It was a
brilliant
good
car. It's such
It
a
was
good
a
car.
comfortable, fun.
Yeah.
It was a quick street car.
It's quick.
Road Atlanta is a very fast track and will make any car that is not fucking 500 horsepower seem kind of slow.
Yeah.
well, because it's mostly straights.
Right.
Yeah.
But that is what it is. Like
Yeah.
that's where I had it. So
But we drove the thing on.
I liked the car. I
on
really
Big
did.
Willow, and it
So
was,
here's the
like,
other
fun,
thing.
yeah.
So Mark Baruth had one for that NASA track or SCCA track event, whatever it was he did. He had an issue with his boost controller solenoid, and they sent a Honda tech to fix it. And what
Yeah.
they did was like electrical tape. The thing was like popping out, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
set like a thing. They like electrical taped and zip tied it in there. So when I got my car, I went to look under the hood, and my shit was electrical taped
So
and zip
all
tied
the
in.
early build, you had an early build car.
Okay.
All the early.
Where do they build this car?
Where?
Where?
England.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I you know, honestly,
Oh,
I
but no,
can't.
because we had one. We got one swapped out. There's a thing. It says like emission system failure or something like that.
It didn't say that, but it looked.
Yeah.
That's just my experience.
And they
I hope
said
they
that-
fixed it.
Yeah,
Great
they
if
said
did.
they said all the press cars are early builds, and they all have this issue, and they double taped it
Well,
on.
definitely
the
the heat
cars.
is not an issue because Scott Dixon, fair play to him, he stuck around all day
Yeah.
driving that car
Well,
for
did
us.
you guys have the solenoid issue?
Not
at all?
on that car, did we?
So
No.
maybe
The solenoid,
the one he just referred to.
I think we had one where it didn't affect the performance at all. It just said emission systems failure. And I called Honda, and they're like, these cars do that. We have an identical car waiting in the wings for you. It didn't affect the performance at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, I
But
it's
what a
just-
brilliant car. I mean,
I really enjoyed the car.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
a lot
for
of
the
fun.
money.
Road
It's
Atlanta
awesome.
is a big place. As a $35,000 street car, it's
Oh,
a really
kick
nice street car.
ass,
It's
yeah.
a really
Yeah.
nice street car.
Focus- I've been
Focus
saying,
RS
imagine-
or Civic Type R.
Civic Type
I
R.
would rather daily drive the Civic Type R. I think my Focus RS is more fun on the track, but that's just me. But my Focus RS is also
Does your Focus not overheat on the track? They struggle, don't they, on the track?
no, but mine is modified.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
have
well,
I
stock
have the
versus stock.
Mountoon
stock
stuff.
versus stock. Come on, the Honda. Honda's a game changer.
It's a game changer.
Honda
I
over
wouldn't,
that
I
Honda.
wouldn't say
Dude,
that.
think about that class, right? Focus RS, STI.
I think the Focus RS is
and-
more fun on the
and
racetrack.
Golf R.
It's just me.
No. And Golf R.
Golf
and this,
Rs are nice.
this
Your
thing,
opinion
this,
is
this
wrong.
thing undercuts it. Yeah, in this case it is. This thing undercuts all those by $5,000, and it's the best front wheel drive car in
Okay,
history.
I would say,
It's
but to
amazing.
me, $5,000 is worth all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I would so
No.
much rather own
No,
all-wheel
but
drive.
why? For what? We have perfect weather. You don't need all-wheel drive.
I enjoy the way it
I
feels
like
better,
the way the
and I like
Focus
having the
RS
ability to
comes
go
out
anywhere all the time.
Slower
Absolutely.
bends a lot better than I like the way
Totally.
the Honda comes out. The Honda doesn't give you full power unless you have the wheel.
And-
Yeah, that's
straightened to
how
a
they
certain
fight torque
point.
steer.
$5,000
Right, but
is
my
also worth
Focus RS has
aesthetics.
rear drive for that.
Yeah, but
Does it feel four-wheel drive to everyone
not
says it's like
proper.
rear-wheel drive.
You
but
have
it's
to drive
not.
it in drift mode. Anytime I'm on a racetrack, I drive it in drift mode.
Do you like that? It just does it not. It feels a bit contrived to me.
It does feel.
drift mode.
Yeah, no,
It's
it feels
weird.
contrived. It does. It does.
That's why the Civic's
Listen,
better.
just don't get me
Doesn't
wrong.
feel
I don't
contrived.
love my Focus RS. I have no fuck.
No,
I shit on
I-
it regularly. I have no.
It's true.
I
no
just- I
need
love
to
that
defend
It's
Honda.
pretty good.
I just
The
love
Honda,
that
the Honda was great. Like my experience differed from yours, I guess. The
Yeah.
overheating thing bugged me.
Yeah.
Driving because look, it's one thing. I was doing one session with the windows down. Okay, you blast the heat, whatever. I did one bit with the windows up. And driving 5 laps in 90-degree weather with the fucking windows up and the heat cranked.
Yeah,
Just
that's-
get
I felt like I was
car.
gonna fucking
just pull in
die.
and be like,
Yeah.
give me a car that's not broken.
You must.
Well, I
an
didn't
issue.
have that option.
Oh.
I'm not Motor Trend. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm one guy.
We had 2 cars.
I'm one guy, and I had to take the car I was given.
But
for
like
that
I said,
moment.
all these little turds on Instagram, they all overheat. And I'm like, one car overheated.
Now you
One
know how I
car.
feel when everyone says that my fucking Focus RS rear diff overheats, which is bullshit.
Right.
It
I
doesn't.
was on a track shoot as well with a different publication, and their car also overheated because I know I commented on your Instagram. I am curious if they were the same car because it was the same color as yours.
No,
the
but I
same
bet
region.
you it's just a batch of early build cars.
And that may be true, and I'm sure they
And
will
that
fix that.
happens.
Right.
And they're British.
It could happen.
And they're British. Like, man, if anything's going to overheat.
It could
Ooh,
happen.
so
Focus
that's an
RS
interesting
is
point.
clearly a car developed and built in Germany because on perfect roads it's great, and on
Yeah.
shitty roads it's really
actually
brutal.
on perfect
It
roads,
is.
It kind of sucks, and on bad roads, it's just a torture chamber.
We're fixing.
Okay,
that.
so question. I was talking to Patrick
Yeah.
yesterday about the NSX, and he was like, "I wonder if people are not going to buy these cars because they're made and designed in America." And and Honda has this reputation, obviously, of spectacular reliability. But we're going, oh well, this Honda's built in the UK. It can kind of course, it's a little finicky. So do you think that will also that kind
I
of thing
think the
will
Honda
impact
UK
Acura?
factory's
And
all right.
I think
I was being facetious.
Yeah.
I think they all work to the same
I think people
standards.
aren't going to buy the NSX because, like, what Honda for the last 20 years they've really become known for is they're a packaging company, right? You can put a fucking refrigerator in the back of a Fit. It's the most amazing, thing in the world. The NSX, you've nowhere for your sunglasses. You've nowhere for a bottle of water. You've nowhere for your cell phone. It's
You
literally
didn't put the cup holder in the
no,
side
because there was a
thing?
person there. It's
I
like,
put the cup holder there with a person. I did. I swear I did. I put it on Instagram. I put a cup holder
But
and
I mean,
a person there.
It's the worst ergonomics of any supercar. And think about it. It's a Honda.
that's-
like if a Lamborghini, you had to like stick the water bottle in your ear. Okay, it's a Lamborghini.
I
But
think the Huracan is less
no.
comfortable than the NSX.
The Huracan, yeah, but that's because Lamborghini.
But
can't
I don't
build
care about
seats.
I don't care about comfort.
They deliberately
See, he just-
torture
yeah.
people.
But in a Lamborghini, you can put your cell phone somewhere. You can put your sunglasses somewhere. Like there's not even a glove box. Oh, no, the glove box has the cup holder in it. I mean, it's the worst thing in the
fair
world.
point.
True. No, that's true.
And then
those
the
are fair
R8 is
points.
like
Check-
brilliant
I'm
packaging.
sure the guy got fired for this, but like I was sitting there, we're looking. Do you look at the trunk of the NSX?
Yes.
It's a joke.
Well,
And it's a
yes,
hot joke.
yes, and no. So yes, you're right on the heat.
Fits one case of beer.
The heat is correct.
Yeah.
I put my golf clubs in it and went golfing.
Okay.
To their credit, like they said you could fit a golf bag with golf clubs in it, and I fucking did, and I went golfing.
You have to
So-
snap them.
I was sitting there.
Snap the clubs.
No,
in
but on a
two.
cold
Stuff
morning-
them
No,
in.
Your
it
clubs
wasn't.
are
It worked.
warm.
But I will say I opened the trunk, and it smelled an awful lot like rubber cement when I opened the trunk. So, there's that.
So I asked the guy, I'm like, what is this trunk about? I'm like, you're the Fit company. You make the CRV. I can hit one button, all the seats go flat, and the headrest disappear. And he goes, oh well, we benchmarked the Alfa Romeo 4C.
Why did they do
So
that?
yeah, he said that out loud.
That must be the dumbest thing ever spoken by an employee
No
of the
one's
fucking
ever
Honda Motor.
benchmarked
Yeah,
4C
no.
for
He
anything.
goes, we do not have the worst trunk in the business, and I'm like, I can't
How to
even believe
build
you're
a really
saying
bad
The good
that.
news is we've also benchmarked it for stereos, steering racks,
Yeah.
and
Build quality,
gearboxes.
yeah, smell.
That can't.
Why
be
is your
right.
basketball
Said
team
it to
so
me.
bad?
That's fucking
He
stupid.
said it
That
to me.
can't be right. I can't believe a person would
He
say
said
that out
it to
loud
me.
to you.
He said it to me.
That shit is.
And I
crazy.
also asked him, I said, why does this thing have Trofeo Rs and Pilot Sport Cup 2s? And he said that they designed the car around Pilot Sport Cup 2s, and the supply chain is so bad with Michelin, like these can't get tires.
Yeah.
That they just bought some Pirellis.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
I drove it on the Pirellis and liked them both times.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
whatever. Trofeo R's were surprisingly good. I really like those.
Yeah, they're getting
Those are
better.
good
They're
tires.
getting,
You know what tires I really like that I didn't think I would like? The Goodyears on the ZL1 1LE. Those are very
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, I need to
Amazing.
drive that.
Have you not had to go in that
No.
yet? Yeah, it's a riot, that thing.
That's all the stuff I want to get.
It's
No-
a
no
nasty
Viper
motherfucker of a
ACR.
car.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
to drive.
I'm not that into the ACR.
Oh, come on.
I think it's an effective tool for the job they're going for, but I don't think it's all that fun.
I drove
Oh, it's not fun, but it's
That's-
just
that's my-
confident.
GT350R.
350R is the one.
That is
the
awesome.
best one.
That's the
Yeah.
one.
I was-
You've driven that.
I drove that. Earlier in the year. I was
That's like a
amazed
once
by
every
that.
2 decades kind of car.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a proper car.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
craziness.
shocked how good it is.
Although the ZL1, do you drive to the regular ZL1 with a manual?
No, everyone says that's the nicer
The
one.
Shelby's better. You know, if they're you take one, you take the Shelby. But man, the ZL1 with a manual is like, it better burnouts than a Hellcat. It's just stupid.
The
Like, it's just great.
1LE
love the
was
last one.
insane on the track, but it beat me up on the road pretty bad.
It has no rear suspension.
Yeah, it really beat the shit out of me. My back was hurting.
Yeah, that's
after
why I
that.
didn't win Best Driver's Car. A lot of
Yeah.
people were like, "This it hurts to drive."
The regular one feels like the last generation felt like it delivered a lot of what an AMG car does, but for way less money.
I've
Like
told
great
this story,
sound,
but
all
this
that
is
stuff.
a true story. So we're doing Best Driver's Car, and there's a little. If you look at the cover of Motor Trend, you'll see that a lot of the cars are on 2 wheels because there's a little jump on this road we use. You just get the car sideways.
Yeah.
And so I was driving the AMG for 30 minutes and just trying to get the good shot where the car's up on 2 wheels, and long day. That was at the end of the day. We're tired. We go down the hill. It's dark, and I got out of the AMG and I got into the ZL1 1LE. And Mike Schaefer, the photographer, calls me and he's like, "How's Best Driver's Car going?" Alcantara steering wheel. It's dark. I couldn't really see the color. I'm tired. And I'm like, "It's going great, man. This AMG is so rad." I'm driving a Camaro, telling him on the phone how rad the AMG. Then I go to shift and it's a manual only. And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm actually in the Camaro, but it feels just like the AMG."
I've completely forgotten where I am.
Yeah, but they feel similar, you know. And
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
a testament to both. And,
No, it's good.
And they probably actually have the same exact shocks. They're probably like literally the same part from Multimatic.
Yeah.
So, and they both have no rear suspension travel.
That's a common AMG thing, it seems.
AMG
They just pick
they're-
themselves up. Off
they're
the road.
either
rear
like-
axle.
Well,
Really?
it's like they're either super stiff or kind of like wallowy in the comfort mode, you know.
The GTS, it's like the SLS. You go over a bump and it just wants
The
to
S
throw
was
you
bad,
up
but the
in the air.
GTS they got it right. They got it with the GTS. and
GTS
then-
was stiff.
and
when
then
I
the
drove it.
GTR.
It is stiff. Yeah.
Yeah, but the GTR is like 100 times stiffer.
Is
It's
it?
crazy.
I haven't had that one.
Yeah,
yet.
like I was driving and Randy Pope's in the passenger seat. And I hurt his back.
Ugh. Maybe I won't.
That
Maybe I won't even
compression
ask.
bump on Mulholland.
Yeah, maybe I won't
you
even
know?
ask. What else is happening in the world? You guys are doing what? You just did CTSV and
We're
E63.
doing that right now. Let's see. We're doing Civic Type R. We're doing
What's the 2 head with the Type R Civic Type R?
nothing?
No,
It's
it's
just
an
by
ignition.
itself.
That's by
Ignition
itself.
episode.
Oh.
And then we've got CTSV.
Oh, are you doing
E63.
ignition now?
Yeah.
Who's doing
Yeah.
ignition?
Yeah, both
You're
of us.
doing.
Well,
You're
both do-
alternating.
We're sharing.
Yeah, so I'm doing.
Sounds like you need another Jew in the team.
I'm doing Bentley Super Sport, and he's doing McLaren 720S.
Oh, fun. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Shitty.
Yeah.
Super shitty.
Yeah.
I had to go to DB4 the other day, an Aston DB4.
Really?
Yeah, and the guy had the motor punched out to a 4.2.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
Really? It
Yeah.
wasn't like a truck?
Well, it was slightly truck-like,
Yeah,
but in a
they're
much
pretty
more
good,
glorious way.
Okay, okay. I
I
drove
mean,
a...
every old fucking front-engine GT car could be described as truck.
They all just sort of feel like 1975 Corvettes at the end of the day. Like,
Kind of.
you know what I mean?
Kind of. But
Yeah.
like,
they all have the same amount of power.
yeah, kind of,
true.
but you're not ashamed to drive them.
No. That's
the real difference.
I had a 1980 Corvette. I know shame.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's rough.
Dude,
Yeah,
it was
that's-
rat. T-tops, come on. It was bitching.
I mean, I love a good T-top.
Oh, it was great. It was such a great car.
I think T-tops are so ridiculous. I'm not. When Musto bought that Trans Am, he's like T-tops, and I was like, they're so bad, man.
See, generational.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Old.
Okay. I'm only a year younger. Than
I'm in
him,
between.
so-
I think I'm in between. How old are you, Jethro?
Almost
I'm
40.
39.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nearly 40.
yeah, in between.
Nearly 40.
That's all right. We're a bunch of fucking old fucks now.
okay. T-tops are cool.
I'm
And
the grayest
We all
one
have
here.
our
I don't know
vices.
what I did wrong.
I mean, I
You're
like,
using
I like
dye,
T-buckets,
but I mean,
so.
you
I
should
am
be
not
doing
using
well.
dye. I have a lot of problems.
Just
but I
for
have-
men.
I have 92% of my hair, and I have like one gray hair. So, you know. Let's just keep it at that, okay?
Hey, can I try a sip of whatever this bourbon is that
Yeah,
you bought?
yeah, yeah,
What did
yeah,
you
yeah.
bring? Because people probably want to talk about whiskey.
Okay.
I want to hear more about Jethro.
who wants whiskey?
Jethro,
Whiskey?
because we only met the one time before you were here.
We
when
met
Magnus
up on
was doing his
Angeles
thing.
Fest.
Yeah, but like I want to hear your story about how you got into this.
How'd you get where you're
best
going?
gig in the world?
Yeah, just like luck, which is what everyone does, really.
Is it?
Yeah. I
Right
think
place,
so.
right time?
Right place, right time.
Born white. Yes, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, cut that part.
I did what everyone did. Went to university, wrote to a few people, and I basically got a job at Evo straight out of uni. So pure luck.
Really?
I had to hang around for like a year waiting for them
Did you
to
get a
their
shitty
shit
job
together.
or a real job?
Oh yeah, I was officially staff writer or something. So I just cleaned
That's-
cars, made coffee, delivered cars, but that was great. And back then, Evo was awesome. It was like a family business. So there was a small team. Everyone did everything. I got to drive all the cars. They didn't... these days, people seem to get a job and then 2 minutes later, they're on a car launch telling you what a car's like when they don't know shit about anything.
Yeah. I did that on my first launch. I mean, that was like 07, but look, we can own it, right?
But they just let me do nothing
He
for
does
like a
sound
year.
Like he
Really?
was classically trained in automotive journalism.
That's the X.
Yeah.
That's because that's what being English does for you.
No, but I was
Well,
lucky.
it did
Those
for you.
guys looked after me. They gave me like a year where I basically wrote nothing. They just put cars in for me, let me drive stuff. I used to write
That's
stuff
awesome.
for them.
Like, they basically paid you to train how to
and then they
have
sent
experience.
Yeah, then they sent me on
Great.
driving courses. I did a bit of
wow.
racing.
Really?
Yeah, the full
Sounds
lot.
like the best job ever.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And back then, Evo was so good. It was completely independent. We did whatever we wanted. No one ever talked about budget. It was just like, just go and do the best stuff. And it was before the internet was huge, so it was brilliant. It was a monthly mag. So 3 weeks we did
people
nothing.
were willing to pay for
3 weeks.
Like 3 weeks we did nothing. 1 week,
imagine that?
1 week we just
See, I
worked
never got that
like
because I came
crazy.
up online.
Yeah.
It was like, just hustle.
Yeah.
Hustle.
I came up with your video goes up or your story goes up, and 8 minutes later it's what the fuck is next?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've already forgotten you.
We spent 3 weeks doing. We had a big PlayStation rig downstairs in the office, so we just perfected our Nürburgring lap time. Normally in the rough Yellowbird was the car,
Of course.
and literally it would just be as soon as you made one mistake, start
He drove
again,
that.
start again,
Did you
start
see his
again.
Video? He drove.
You
the
drove.
Yellowbird.
Oh, you did.
I drove the Yellowbird.
The new one or
Was
the original?
No,
I drove the original. Yeah.
Was
We're
it as
hoping
good
to-
as PlayStation indicated it would be?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to separate like the myth and the reality with that car, isn't it? It's so
Yeah.
cool.
You shouldn't
And
though, right?
No,
but
but
you want to
just
go.
do you get over the oh my god I'm in the yellow? Did you ever get over
I didn't
that?
because the car is still good and it is so fast. I mean, the figures back in the day, it did like
It's like 500 horsepower, isn't
it
it?
did
Yeah.
like 7 something to 100. It's
I want to hear
quick.
this, but what are we drinking? Because I'm
I'm
looking. I'm
trying
just
to
got
fi-
very
I
thirsty.
got a
You
little-
forget what it is?
You don't have a spreadsheet on your phone with all your bourbon on it?
No, I'm
Really?
sorry, I
Okay.
don't.
No, I have sex.
Do you? Okay. This, I believe, is Willet. I think the barrel is 3261.
Oh my
Oh my god! I
This
thought you
is-
brought 3260 for a minute. Holy shit!
No, this is bottle 38 out of 153
Bet it better
total
be.
bottles. 119.6 proof, which is 59.8% alcohol.
Wow.
And I won it on an auction off a guy named Deshaun
This is
Batts,
some gangsta
who's super
shit.
cool.
How do you know that's really true?
Cheers. He doesn't.
No, it is really true.
It could just be like decanted
No,
out.
it's really true. It's really true.
Bell's
Cheers.
whiskey bottle.
All right.
Yeah.
So the Yellowbird, it does live up to all the hype in person.
Also, I've been married for like
Yeah.
10 years.
And Stefan Rosa came along.
And it's what?
And Stefan Rosa, the guy who did,
Oh, really?
He came along.
Oh, that's
He's
gangster,
just
too.
like retired. He was actually a journalist for like Auto, Motor and Sport or someone. I didn't realize that. He was a journalist, but he's retired, but he came along. He drives like a fucking psycho.
Did
like
you
literally
ride right seat?
Yeah.
How do you do it right seat? Usually, very good drivers do not enjoy that
I don't
side
like
of the car.
I don't like being a passenger normally. It's all right if I know the person and they're good, but he was insane. Like we got in the car and I thought we were driving to a track or to an airfield, and he was like trying to pitch it into corners at like
Just
90
on the-
miles
just
an
on the
hour.
road.
On the road,
Yeah.
like 5 miles from
Yeah.
roof. He was crazy, but the guy's got car control, so it was
Yeah.
awesome. And then we just we spent 2 days with it. And they were super cool. And when we got there, you think it would be like in a bubble somewhere, this car, but it was parked outside, covered in crap. No one had driven it for like 6 months.
Seriously?
Yeah, they were like, oh, we'll clean it up. I think they've actually...
Do they not have it carry a sense of nostalgia about these things?
They
or-
do now, but I think they've restored it. So I think soon after we left, they restored it. But it was
'Cause
just
didn't-
beaten up.
Didn't
It
Sam
was
Smith
so
just
cool.
go have a go, and it looked pretty fresh in that picture?
Yeah,
They
that's,
did.
they
That
have.
was
They've
like
restored it.
7 years ago.
It was a
you
long
drove
time
it.
ago.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, no. Sam went like 2 months ago and
Yeah,
and had a go.
they've
No one
restored
had
it.
thought about the car for like a decade
Yeah.
until you drove it. And I was like,
Literally, it was
thing.
just sat there, and
Yeah,
and they were like,
crazy.
"Who's got the keys?" They were like, "Hang up on some peg," And I got in it. It was filthy. They gave it a clean. but
Funny
it was-
when
it
you
was-
find
it
like
was
this,
so cool.
because you think of it as some like magical ethereal thing,
Yeah, it's
and
a
then
car.
it's just a fucking
It's a car.
It's a car to
just
those
a car,
guys.
and it's not even like a nice car. Yeah.
And they were like, "Can you not do something about one of our new cars? Because they're
Yeah.
the ones we want to sell."
Yeah.
But you know what? I tell you what, they're doing a bit of a singer. They create these.
If I was them, I'd start building Yellowbirds. I'd
Yeah,
fuck all the new
Exactly.
cars.
That's what they
The
do.
margins have to be
Oh my God.
insane.
That's what they do.
Yellowbirds.
They do a lot of that stuff. So Yellowbirds
yeah.
and BTRs, all that sort of restoration stuff.
I drove a 993. There's a guy in LA here who has a 993 BTR, and it is extremely cool and weird and unlike, the laggiest single turbo ever.
Yeah.
It's like you turn a 993 Carrera into an old 930 turbo. It's very weird and fun.
Yeah.
But they do cool work. They do
Yeah.
really good work. I went to some weird Michelin test track event, and they had the Michelin test drivers who were just so good.
They're
Like,
best.
so
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
They're unbelievable, these boys. And they had all these tuner cars, and basically every car they got out of, the test drivers were like, this is horrendous. And they were just telling the people who built them, do this, change this, this is
And they're
awful.
French,
Yeah,
so
and they're like,
like-
literally like, we felt like we were going to die in this car. And then they drove the roof.
I have that feeling almost every week of my life.
But they drove the roof, and I remember the guy just got out, shut the door, looked at Mr. Roof, and just shook his, like,
Yep,
yeah,
it's good.
it was good. And they didn't even have a conversation. It was so cool. I was like, yeah,
His
proper
origin
work.
story was really cool. Like learning, just learning from his dad in the shop, falling in oil. Like it was all exactly what you'd want it to be. For what
Right,
would lead to
right,
something like
right,
Yellowbird,
right.
and then driving up to the test track by himself with tires in the back, and
And
all
the
that
fact
stuff.
before they did that famous road and track test, he just tested it on the Autobahn, and he'd measured the speed between marker posts.
Yeah.
So I was like, how fast did you think it would go? And he was like, oh, we thought like 217 or something, and it ended up doing whatever it was, 221
Yeah,
or
whatever it
something.
was,
But
yeah.
he'd just done it literally the night
I
before
think it was
on the Autobahn.
211.
Yeah, maybe you're
feel
right.
like 211.
I think it was
maybe
that's
211
stuck in
is
my
the
head.
number, yeah.
But what, dude?
No,
First
no,
of
no.
all,
Just,
first of all,
just so I don't get
car
emails.
from
That's the only reason I
you're
said
getting,
that.
You know how
Otherwise, I'd
many
let
emails
it
you're
stick.
getting? Do you have any idea how many emails this podcast is going to generate?
0. I hope 0. In a perfect world.
213.
213.
213.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
We
Thank you,
both
Zach.
we both said 211.
I could have
30
sworn it
years
was
ago.
211.
I thought it was 211.
Maybe there was a two-way average involved. Don't know.
No, not with.
Not in the
anyways.
80s. Not in the 80s.
But yeah, what a cool car.
Yeah, I've loved
Yeah,
that.
well, that's a very rare treat.
Yeah, that
is
was a
that
highlight.
is that the most special thing you think you've driven? If you had to,
He just drove like a Vulcan.
oh, that's probably cool. But that was a riot.
Yeah, I don't know. I've driven so much stuff. It all
Like
blurs.
I'm jealous of him.
Yeah, he's
No, I'll
already-
tell you what. The coolest thing was the McLaren F1.
Yeah.
the one that did the record.
And what is that?
Was that XP5 or
XP5.
whatever? Yeah.
Don't test me on the numbers.
240. It was 240.
But that was cool because we had that in Wales. It turned up. I remember it turned up. It was delivered to this like facility, so it was secure. But in the back of Beyond in Wales, and I turned up, and I was the one who was to
was
go
it
and
near
pick it
where
up.
we saw the sheep?
Yeah, it was North Wales. Yeah.
Okay.
Frevo?
This was Frevo.
I think I remember the story actually.
Yeah, it was the like analog supercar
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It was
Wasn't
unreal.
Dickie there as well?
Yeah, it was the whole team.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was the one. They were like, "Go and get the car." So I was like, "Yeah, great." So I went and got the car, got in it, and then the guy was like, "Have you been told about a mileage limit?" The guy who was running me through the car, and I was like, "No." And he said, "Yeah, you're allowed to do like 250 miles in the next like 3 days or something." And I was like,
You just go, yeah, that's not going to happen.
"Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, okay." And I just like mental note, don't tell anyone about this restriction.
That's what I did with you. Do you know the McLaren that we have has a mileage restriction?
Oh, does
on
it?
Yeah.
Oh no!
But we drove this thing. We took it the first day. I had to take it back there every night, and the first day we did like 480 miles or something. And we drove this thing like a rental car for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
We just the brakes
Go
were
look,
shot
guys.
by
It's
the
going
time
to be
we
worth
finished.
15 million, whether it's got
Exactly.
14,200
I mean, it was the car. It
or
was the car.
14,900 miles on it, whatever.
But it was Ron Dennis's personal car, and apparently he went absolutely apeshit
good.
when he saw the
Good.
feature. That was
Good.
it. No one else is ever going to drive
Nice.
it. Basically.
yeah, but
Nice.
you know what?
That's a great way to get
That
exclusive.
that's
Yeah.
a point of pride for you, isn't it?
Oh, it was awesome. But to drive that car on those roads,
And it was that good?
the car is the engine is beyond any other road car engine. It's so
Beyond a Zonda.
good, way beyond. Like
I had a 5 minutes in one once.
Best
and it was
engine
the best,
ever.
The 5 minutes I had in one, like I think I got to go through gears maybe twice.
Yeah.
Like, and it was the best 5 minutes of my life.
I rode passenger, and it was. I remember it was. I couldn't drive it, but it was pretty thrilling.
No, it was the it was the best thing
the
ever.
engine. And if you get a second to third gear shift right, peak revs, it's so fast, and it feels like there's more power when you hit the gear. It's like it's exponentially accelerating.
it accelerates faster when you upshift.
it's
The Hennessy Venom does that shit too.
unreal.
When you go third to
Unreal.
fourth in the Venom GT, and then it begins to pull harder because
Yeah.
it's boost by gear, that shit fucks you up.
Yeah.
You go because you're like no other car does this except. when your eyeballs begin to melt and
Yeah.
you go, okay, I'm bailing out. Shift, and then they melt harder. You
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
this is wrong.
That's a cool, I feel I drove something that did that. That's a great feeling.
The Agera R. If you
I've
driven,
never
have you
touched
driven,
a car
have you
like
driven
that,
Agera?
yeah.
I've driven a. God, they all. Yeah, I have.
CCS.
I've
So
driven
you
an
drove the
Agera.
Agera?
Yeah.
The Agera was one of the one of the most memorable.
It's scary.
experiences.
That's a proper scary.
Did
car.
you fuck around with that 200 to 0 shit that they do?
What, where they like take their hands off the wheel?
Yeah,
and
that
do
thing.
full
Yeah.
emergency stop.
No, for
Yeah.
real. I did that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You go 200. He goes, okay, get it up to 200. Take your hands
Get
off
it
the
up to
wheel.
200.
Stand on the brakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like those guys though.
Awesome.
They're cool
It's
guys.
awesome.
I love going to the factory. They're just on it, and they're so different to like Pagani or something
Yeah.
like that. But they're like, yeah, we're Swedish. We're not going to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. This is what we do.
But their stuff is still beautiful, though. It's,
yeah,
you know, it's
and their
cool.
carbon
It's
work
gorgeous.
is awesome.
Yeah, when they do like the inside of the headlight housings,
Yeah.
no one's ever going
The,
to see
the
that.
engine is ugly to use. Do you know what I mean? It's so like
It's very raw dog.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
raw. It's unbelievable. But the
Never touched
performance
one, never
is
touched one.
like literally. If you ever have the balls to turn the traction control off, which I wouldn't recommend.
I
but,
tried it. It was great.
Yeah, but like third or fourth when it lights up, Jesus Christ.
Because you're just lighting tires the entire
Yeah,
time.
I mean you can be
Yeah.
lighting the tires at 100.
I read
plus.
the McLaren did the same thing, though. The F1 back in the day, they said with no
That's
TCS.
because it had
and
like
just-
14-inch wheels
Okay.
The
and,
worst the worst
terrible
tires ever.
tires.
True.
And the
Technology's
brakes
changed
are
a little bit.
literally like the size of a donut. They last about 2 minutes.
The Agera R with stability control on. He told me to crank the wheel side to side as hard as I could at 140 miles an hour, and I couldn't break it loose. It was
Really?
crazy. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, they do cool stuff.
Yeah.
they do cool
They're
stuff.
smart
I want to
people.
try that
Take a break.
Regera
Is that
with
you
its,
ready? Okay.
with its one gear thing.
The Regera,
Yeah.
everyone
Regera
who's
looks
been
cool.
in it says it's unbelievable.
He's explained it to me about 8 times how it works, and I'm
No,
like,
I
still
saw
don't
him
get
at-
it.
I saw him at
Still
Pebble,
don't get it.
and I did the same thing. I'm like, tell me about that again. And I had no idea, but it's cool. You know?
Yeah, we need to get into that.
We need to take a break.
Okay.
Because we don't want our computer crashing and disappearing a show on us. We'll be right back.
This episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Driveline. Driveline is the world's first social driving app and comes exclusively to the iPhone. Discover the pleasure of driving, not to get somewhere, but simply to be on the road. Whether you're a longtime driving enthusiast or just someone who wants to discover why driving can be fun, this is the app for you. Driveline allows you to map and classify your favorite driving roads based on style, whether it's a hill climb, a cruise, a B-road, loose surface, or a trail, while capturing basic metrics and driving data. With Driveline, you can use your iPhone's camera to capture video of your drive, or use an external camera or maybe even a drone. Post these videos to the feed so everyone can see exactly why your time behind the wheel matters, or keep them for yourself in your library. You can build a profile, share your cars, track your drives, and earn points towards contests and giveaways from the team at Driveline Entertainment. If you're new to an area or just looking for new roads to travel, Driveline lets you search for roads in any given area by style or radius. You can review the map, video, check the comments and the likes, and the point scores of the creator. If you're looking for a loose surface rally-style drive, there may be something closer than you think. Search for Driveline in the iOS App Store. How about Fortson Motorsports 7? It's out now. I'm so excited to be playing it on our Fanatic wheel setup here at the office. Motorsport 7 is the sickest racing simulator out right now. Everyone can experience the danger and beauty of competitive racing at their limit. There are over 700 Forza Vista cars. And what a Forza Vista car means, it's not just like some of the cars have full interiors and working doors and stuff like that. All the cars have like fully done up interiors. You can explore them in extreme detail. That's what Forza Vista means, including the largest collection of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Porsches available in any racing game. There's over 30 famous environments, 200 different circuit combinations with dynamic conditions that change every single time you race. It's 4K, it's HDR, it's 60 frames per second, and it is available on the Xbox or Windows 10. There's a free demo for Xbox One and for Windows 10, or you can go to ForzaMotorsport.net or Xbox.com/Forza. Hit us up on Xbox Live. TST Racing, Forza Motorsport 7, is the official racing simulator of the Smoking Tire Podcast. How about Pro Flowers? Okay, everyone knows someone who is obsessed with fall, whether it's the pumpkin spice latte or the fall scented candles, the apple pies, the colors. But here's the deal. I got a perfect gift idea for you. Whether it's an upcoming birthday or an anniversary, some other kind of fall holiday, fresh bouquet from Pro Flowers in their favorite fall colors. Pro Flowers has sent me a few bouquets this year. All of them have looked really nice. They've stayed fresh for 10, 12 days for a long time, and my girl liked them. Hope she's not listening to this show, because some of them I pretend I bought when actually Pro Flowers just sent to me, but shh, she loved them anyway. Pro Flowers, they have the perfect gift now for anyone excited about fall. Long-lasting bouquet in their favorite fall colors. Check this out. Cinnamon cider roses. Doesn't that sound awesome? Cinnamon cider roses are a great option for a birthday, anniversary, or any fall occasion. Or go with one of the classics, like 100 autumn blooms or a dozen autumn roses. Not entirely sure what the difference is between an autumn rose and a regular rose, but let's just assume it's seasonally better. You can't lose, because no matter which bouquet you get, here's the deal. I got a deal. I'm going to give you back money, 20% off any Pro Flowers bouquet of $29 or more. Pro Flowers bouquets are arranged to stay fresh for at least 7 days, or your money back. You control the delivery date. And Pro Flowers gives you more bloom for your buck. Big, beautiful flowers, more stems for your money, long-lasting freshness. Here's the deal. 20% off all bouquets of $29 or more at proflowers.com. Use code SMOKING at checkout. Code SMOKING at checkout. Proflowers.com. 20% off, $29 or more. Code SMOKING at checkout. Get them flowers. I'm gonna get them. And last but not least, follow us on all our social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all / The Smoking Tire. New one takes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and of course the podcast every Wednesday. Leave us a comment on iTunes or a rating to keep us high in the rankings. We appreciate that. Now back to the show.
Herbal means smells like cat pee.
No, it's like
right?
buffalo grass. No. Cat pee's a whole other thing.
Have you ever seen there's weed called the piss that smells like piss?
There's a hop, Chinook, which smells like cat piss
Shit,
or
I
litter
almost
box.
just wrecked my computer with expensive whiskey.
Why would you choose to buy something that tastes like and smells like piss when
Because
they
it's
make
like an
other
ammonia
things?
flavor. It's not actually cat piss.
That's so
Also
funny.
bad.
That's like, why do people eat anything where it says tastes like chicken when instead of buying chicken?
We do a
I
little.
just ate alligator tail.
Alligator, right?
I just ate alligator
Tastes
tail.
like
and
chicken.
It tasted like
That's
worse chicken.
It's
Yeah.
a bit different from
Alligator's
something
kinda
that
gross.
says piss. That's piss
Excellent
flavored.
point. It's an excellent point.
Chicken
Not piss
versus
flavored.
piss.
It's
Right.
not
That's
that
what I
it's
was-
piss
that was what I
flavored.
was trying to
It's that
tell
Are
it's-
you
him.
German? Have you got some German roots?
As a Jew,
You should hear Jethro's theory on German porn. It's really for another show.
Um,
It's really good though. It's a really
I
good
think
theory.
it's for this show. That sounds exactly like what this show is like. Now that
Can-
Chris is
can
gone,
I put you on the
know,
spot?
it occurred to me that we haven't gone directly into something horribly filthy
Oh, I stopped
Chris left.
taking Paxil. It's been great.
The whole time I thought that we would go directly into something horrible was my fault.
Right.
But then Chris left, and now it doesn't happen anymore. God damn it. It's not my fault. Anyway,
Yeah.
tell me that
Wait, didn't you
disgusting
start
thought.
the
You
show
just-
saying cunt?
Yes.
Yeah,
but
no,
that's not
Tim
the
did.
nor
Tim
there.
did actually.
He said cunt, and then I followed it up.
Hard cunt. I
with
believe
another
is the
cunt.
word. Yeah.
No, it's just because Johnny was moaning about German Wi-Fi again, because we're at Nürburgring trying to download episodes that we just couldn't see, and
Both videos and pornography.
yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
and
Weird experience to
I
share.
can't remember how it came about, but it was like
It was after many beers.
yeah, and it was like
Most things come about.
German porn mainly consists of people pissing and shitting on each other, doesn't it? Really?
Yes.
And it was like maybe it's just they've never had Wi-Fi before and they've heard about all this dirty porn and they started making this crazy stuff. Then one day they go to America. Oh shit!
Oh, shit.
It's just pretty girls kissing each other. We've been doing it wrong.
All of a sudden, they learned porn doesn't have to be horrible.
They get here like,
funny.
oh, you just touched the boobs.
Yeah.
That's
right,
it?
That's it. Right. Well, the funny thing was, I ran into a buddy of mine. I'll leave his name out of this, but he was with like 5 of his coworkers who happen to all be women. We were in the middle of Bavaria somewhere, and he's like, "Yeah, we're doing a team building thing." And I'm telling Jethro, he's like, "Oh, they're calling it team building? Like they've all shit on his chest by now."
They'll all be pissing on each other in 10 minutes time.
Team building. You bring the saran wrap. You guys bring the gloves.
That was
Yeah.
a fun trip.
They
That was a
can't- they
fun
can't help
trip. We have to go
themselves.
back to Germany.
I went to Oktoberfest, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I imagine you've been.
No, I've
You never
been.
have?
No,
You-
no. I know.
Yeah,
I know,
no,
I
you would
know,
really
I
like
know.
it.
I know. I'd love to.
Yeah, you got Lederhosen,
I
the
love
whole
it.
deal. It's really fun. Someone asked the question. They have this thing where drunk people get on. There's a turntable.
I saw
you
you
seen
on
the
Instagram.
turntable.
No, that's the crazy. Have you
Amazing.
seen this?
No.
Can you? Do you have my Instagram?
It's
handy?
a merry-go-round.
Scroll back
without
to-
the horses. It's a thing that spins, and they fight each other on it.
Well, so they do a couple of things on this particular turntable. One is they have amateur boxing on the turntable.
Right.
And drunk people fighting each other
It's
you know,
funny.
is funny. And usually someone falls off the turntable and eats shit into the wall before they knock each other out. I haven't seen like a Floyd Mayweather situation there. And then the other thing they do is they have everybody just pile on the turntable, like, come on in, and like.
But you were
30
like
people.
Jane Goodall documenting the apes. Like you were like, look
Well, I
what's
was
happening here.
That wasn't me. Well, that was with the fighting thing.
Yeah, no, but it was just so funny. Like you had this like almost sober perspective of like this drunken madness. You know,
It was
it's like
great.
look at these.
Oktoberfest is very fun. I
gotta
recommend
go.
everyone go to
Yeah, I'd like to.
Oktoberfest.
Gotta go.
Have you been?
No, I'm not. I'd
Oh
love
my
to
god,
go.
it's so fun.
Love to go.
It's so fun. What's weird, what most people don't tell you about Oktoberfest is that there's these beer tents.
Yeah.
And then, but outside the beer tents, there's like rides and games, and so you
Yeah.
can only drink in the beer tents. And there's like windows where you can walk up and take a shot, but you
Really?
can't walk around from tent to tent or outdoors with a beer.
A shot of
It's
beer, a shot of something.
a shot of liquor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's like families with their kids going on the rides like all day. And at night, the kids go home, and the drunk people come out of the tents, and it turns into a complete shit show.
Yeah.
Nice.
But during the
Sounds
day,
good.
it's very fun. It's actually
I did
like
a
family
thing-
fun.
This is 20 years ago now, but I was in Munich in the English Garden, and they had like a beer relay race, and it was like you got a partner and you drank a beer. I know they were small beers, like 33 centiliters, but you drank a beer, you ran 25 meters or whatever, not yards, meters, and then your partner drinks a beer and runs 25 meters, and it's a relay. And so, like, after, I can't remember, like, 25 beers each, we just passed out in the grass. The winning team was, like, 70-something beers. Absolute madness, But it's
These
just-
guys
it's
can
just
fucking
this
drink.
vomitous pool of, like, sprinters at the end of it. It's awesome.
You know who the most impressive is Oktoberfest waitresses.
Yes.
There are these like
Yeah.
beast German girls that
Yeah.
can carry like
Yeah. 5
a
Mosses
dozen
each. Yeah.
liters of
Or
beer.
each arm. Each arm, they have like 5 mosses.
It's amazing.
And it's just the giant,
Amazing.
like they just wear them like rings. Just
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, we were in Salzburg, and I'm blanking on the brewery, but we went where they have the big things. They
Yeah.
have, they knocked the bung out of the wooden keg, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
it was really fun.
It's, German drinking is best.
It's good. It's a good time.
So I bought this 911.
Yes, I'm so fucking high on this thing.
So what is it?
It's an 87 Carrera with
Okay.
a G50. It's a 2-owner car,
So G50 is
California.
the gearbox that everyone likes.
G50 is the better 5-speed transmission, the stronger one with better gearing, better
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 synchros.
feel and
Yeah.
better everything, really. Yeah. And it's a 3.2 liter. It's the original engine. I've never seen it in person.
What color is it, Matt?
It is cassis red. You familiar with cassis red?
What is that like?
It's like
like-
red,
it's like
but
your
looks
Pull
shirt.
purple.
pull up a picture of a
probably-
cassis, CASSIS.
It's purple.
Yeah.
Wait,
my car.
did you just
Is it?
shake your
I've
head?
got
at
an
me
arena
because if you
red,
pull up
which is-
anything from
Which everyone says is purple.
anything from that. Okay.
think so, we'll
All
try.
right. We need to disable the audio from that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look on my
monitor
phone.
entirely.
So cassis red is like purple, right?
CASSIS red. Yeah, the middle there, that particular Porsche at the top. That's it.
Oh, that's.
That is cassis red, which
Metallic
I
pink.
refer to as
Metallic
metallic pink,
That's metallic
or
pink.
I call it grape soda lipstick.
Okay.
That's what I think that color is.
Everyone's calling it grape ape or something.
Well, I've got a 996 in arena red, which I get so much
Oh
stick
yeah,
for.
because it's not guards red. That's the darker red,
I
right?
like
Arena
it.
red.
I think it's
I like
nice.
that color.
It's great,
I
but
actually
get
like
used
like
to
very
that.
few cars can be purple. 911s are one of them.
That's not purple.
All right, that's
That
pink.
car-
metallic pink.
It's
car
metallic
shouldn't be
pink.
purple.
It's metallic pink.
I like
now,
it. I like it. But
the
I like
thing
what
look,
Matt's
I'm
doing
doing
more.
a safari build. Okay, with Lee
Wow.
Keen. Do you know
Okay,
Lee?
yeah.
You know, have you seen his cars?
I've seen some of his cars. They're
They're
awesome.
kick-ass.
Yeah,
they're kick-ass.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I like the Luft cars as well that Joey and Pat Long are building. But like those are race cars. They're
Okay.
like those are $250,000. They're seam welded and like you could enter those things in Dakar almost. This is more of like a fun street car kind of toy build. Anyway,
But hang on.
whether or not you like metallic fucking grape soda lipstick, you must agree on the fact that is a shit color for a rally car. right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're building a rally car, even if you think that's a cool color, that's a shit color for a rally car.
You know,
But
the
here's
Safari Rally, there's a company called Tuthill who Chris knows really well. Yeah?
So do you want to hear a quick funny Tuttle story? It's 30 seconds. I flew to England to do a thing with Harris, okay? He picks me up from the airport, and he goes, mate, I got to make a quick stop at my friend Richard's place to check out this car. And he goes, don't worry, you're going to love this guy. And I go, okay, cool. Now, I have no fucking clue who this guy is. This is about 4 years ago. This is when I first started working with Chris. So we show up and like at this little, what is like a little quaint countryside house in the middle of nowhere. You drive up this house, and there's 50 Safari 911s
it's
strewn
incredible.
about in fucking
really?
tents that are built outside the house. It's crazy. And I didn't know who this guy was. Very nice, small little gentleman comes, hey, Chris, they're bullshitting. Tuthill says he just put a new gearbox in a car and he wanted to go test it. Do I want to come for a ride? And Chris goes,
see where this
Chris
is
just
going.
goes, you want to go? And I go, okay, I'll go. And it's like, he goes, Richard Tuttle is like, oh, this car's nothing. It's like 120 horsepower, man. It's like some old, it's 68, 69 something. So I just put a dog box in it. So he's got a dog box in his car, and it's one of those old cars, and there's no lower console, so I can see his feet.
Yeah.
And it's a right-hand drive car, so I'm on the left side of the car, so I had just landed, so I'm a little out of sorts already. And he has apparently right outside his little place, like a rally stage. And so he goes out and proceeds to mob this road.
He's awesome.
You know, just these slamming gears in this thing and clutchless shifting and left foot braking and like these work boots, you know, and sliding this car out. I have no idea where I am, but like, you know, Chris, like, who the fuck is this guy? He's like, oh yeah, he's the legend.
He can drive really good. But they build all those Safari cars and they win like every year. And the one that won last, the one I saw anyway, that was pink.
It was
a bright pink.
Was it
Safari.
this pink?
No, it wasn't that. It was like shocking
Like pink, like pink pig.
Yeah, it was
But
pink.
the important part of this
It
car
should be
is
good. Attempt to pull up the picture. Look, hold on. I'm sorry, audience, if this all of a sudden makes a wonky fucking sound, but I want to show the people video. I think that is metallic lipstick.
I love it. That's great.
It's
But
not a bad on that Targa that's
that's a
detailed
nice,
to the nuts.
Yeah, exactly. That's factory fresh. But
know.
here's the best part. You say a bunch of bullshit about holding this for ransom, but
I
basically,
don't think I'm gonna do that. No one cared enough,
basically,
as I
I'm
proved.
gonna Sam us the fucker bear on live
Yes,
video
that
because
we should do.
and laugh my ass off doing it because I love it because I think the point you're trying to make is that people that they'll never even they'll just comment on the things. They're never gonna buy it. They don't care really.
Yeah.
And for some reason they're like, Porsches are sacred. Like
Here's my
this
issue.
is the
love
new
it.
thing.
Here's my
love
issue
it.
with
Like,
this
can
whole
I help you
situation.
sandblast?
Yes, of
Yes.
course. Please
Oh,
do.
please.
My issue with this
Good. Okay.
situation is that this car was sitting on fucking Pelican parts for months.
Right.
And it looked like this. Here's my Porsche for sale, blah, 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 blah. Pull up that picture. That's the actual car I bought. Here's my car. And then you see the bump.
Right.
Bump.
Right.
You know.
No
And
one's ever gonna buy
Nobody
it.
wants this thing.
Right.
I got this car for a great price. This car was significantly cheaper than the black I
Probably
looked
because
at.
of the color.
Because of the color.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
a nice car. There's nothing wrong. There's no accidents. There's no
Yeah,
rust.
yeah.
This is a clean, straight, 90,000 miles, strong, tight car. I got it cheap, but now that I got it cheap, I'm expected to be the savior of ugly purple Porsches.
Just forget that. I don't get this whole 911s. The whole
gonna
point of
paint
them
it.
is
So
that you can
go
change
back and
every
pull up that
part.
color,
And they're all
Tim.
interchangeable.
Yeah. So I
and
found
they've been
the color.
hot rodded forever.
Right.
Why suddenly you've
Well,
got to put them
because
back
this
to
color-
standard?
Because
rare.
people are into this pure
Yes.
nonsense, you
So-
that you guys heard the 911T got announced yesterday.
I saw that.
Yeah, so it's okay, it's cool. It's the base engine.
I want to talk about that.
We'll
But
get
real
it.
quick, look at this
Yeah, yeah.
color.
That's
That
great.
is I incorrectly call it dolphin blue in this post. That is called Dalmatian blue.
Yeah.
Oh,
in a
great
pre
dogs.
73
It's a Frenchy blue.
and it became
Yeah.
Oxford blue
Yeah.
later. But
Okay.
that's a fucking
That's
rally
kind of
car color.
Yeah, that's great.
So
It's got a
how
little
Safari
purple
is
in
it? Is it going to be like
It's
jacked up, big tires?
It's a 4-inch lift. You keep the Fuchs wheels. We do an RSR style finish on BFG AT Raptor tires.
Yeah.
16-inch Raptor tires. You keep it's still a torsion beam suspension, but it's a longer travel with the lift, and they redo the front suspension as well. And then they do the light pod, the ducktail, the roof rack. I'm doing a ski rack because I'm going to take it to Mammoth this year.
That's awesome.
And we're doing Bluetooth stereo with air conditioning because I want to daily it in LA.
It can be done this year for snowboarding.
maybe
No,
not.
of course
no,
not
this
Zach.
year.
Oh, Zach,
okay.
of course not.
No,
I always
for
said
next
so.
year.
All
Next
right.
year.
No,
next year.
no,
it's not
no.
gonna be
7 years from now,
No.
he'll
It's
get
not
a
gonna-
return with the
it's not
stereo
gonna-
in
and
the
then I'm
seat.
considering
Right,
like a
yeah.
wool interior, but with the motor, it's like just a 964 cams, a chip, like headers, and an exhaust. It's basic.
2025. Yeah.
But you
Donald
got to
Trump
drive one
Jr.'s
of these
second
cars.
term.
It's the best.
Drive your one. Sounds
Drive
good.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's done. And I spent a day in the woods in North Carolina with Lee's car, and it was like life changing. Just so
It's
fun.
so fun.
Yeah,
So
they're
fun.
awesome.
The you know
And anytime you drive not on tarmac, it's actually the best
The
thing.
best.
I've never
Yeah.
done any proper rallying, but I would love
911
to do
on loose surface
Yeah,
with
just
this
911 on rear-wheel drive 911 on snow is literally the most fun.
it's
you can have in a
even
car.
it's even better than you think it could be.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Oh, it's
it really.
incredible.
I
Yeah.
thought it would be great, and it was so much better than that.
That's good.
Well,
And the
Tut
best-
Hill
and we
does
have the
that
desert.
ice driving thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen his ice driving school?
Yes.
And like everyone turns up, like
Yeah.
all the big boys from
Yeah.
F1, the
But
engineers.
I'll never forget
It's
doing
awesome.
like in Quebec, Porsche has a snow facility, and they had all-wheel drive 911s,
Yeah.
and then they had the rear drive. Rear drive night and day. Like
Wow.
all-wheel drive, it's no fun.
No, on snow on the right tires.
Yeah, yeah.
it's the
Oh
best.
my god, it's the best thing.
Anything on snow is the best.
True.
Yes, but
End of.
911s are even better.
Yeah.
911s are even better. Yeah. Oh,
the
911T.
911T.
Yeah,
That's a
So-
thing today.
Yeah, so somebody's asked me, they're like, my friend has an allocation. Should he buy it as an investment? I'm like,
Investment.
yeah. And I'm like,
Just
look, at the end of the
makes
day,
you sick.
it's got the small engine.
Isn't
So,
here's the thing. It's it's light, right? That's
No,
the
but
deal.
it's like
12
40 pounds lighter.
light.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
I haven't read the full spec.
Yeah.
I love the
It's
idea
a-
of them building
It's a base
narrow
Carrera with
body.
GT3 doors.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
how much is it? Is it cheaper?
it's
more expensive?
$103,000.
Kind of pretty.
It's it looks
that,
great.
That particular spec on your
It's
Instagram, Johnny.
$103,000. The base car is like 96. But the problem is, you could just get a Carrera S.
Yeah.
And like the jump in performance is so massive, and the one thing that I think makes the 99 1.2 really good is the rear steering. It kind of just to
I
me
like
is a
the rear
game
steer.
changer.
But it's an option, isn't
It's
it?
an option. It's not standard. So you get the 20 millimeter lower ride height.
I would just get the S.
Who's done it? Who's done
Yeah.
the car? Is it Porsche Motorsport or is it just Porsche?
It's just Porsche.
It's just Porsche.
Yeah, it's not GT.
It's not the GT.
No,
I don't-
Why do you think they did it? Is it just like the nostalgia of narrow body and taking things
because
away?
they're like,
GT3
oh my god,
RS-ish?
every single special edition we build sells out before anyone's driven it. Like we'd be crazy not to do more.
I like the idea of it though.
Did you have
it's
the red
easy
car?
to be cynical, but I think it'll be good.
I'm sure it'll
Have
be
you ever
great.
driven a super base Carrera, the new
Yeah.
one? Did you drive the red one that was floating
sure
around?
I have. I've
There was a
driven-
presser floating around LA that was like 97 grand.
Yeah.
And it was basically just a base stick car with
Yeah.
sport seats and sport
But it
exhaust.
was awesome.
It was the best.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
For a long time, that every time you drive a base 911, you think actually this is the
Yeah,
one. Maybe
but
They're
really-
so
But the
good.
market. But when we had the Carrera S after that, you were like, "This is what I would get." I'd get.
I would get an
PD.
S. I would
Yeah,
get,
it was
no, I'd
great.
get
It was
an
good
S.
car.
Here's the thing.
Why not?
We
I'd
just
get an
drove. We
S.
just drove the GTS. You'd get the GTS.
I would.
actually.
I'd get a rear-wheel drive GTS
Yeah,
with a stick.
that's what we.
all
Well, we had
day.
a PDK, but
PDK was good.
It was
but,
good.
I
It was
mean,
good
it was
car.
It was
really,
good. The stick was good too.
I feel
Yeah.
bad though because
I
I
hate that
I
stick,
like
though.
the
I
new
hate that
4-wheel
stick.
drive ones. I think they're good.
what?
I like the new 4-wheel
They're
drive
good.
cars. The
No, they're
991.
good. They're all,
I
all
don't know, they
911s
just-
are good. The
they
best
just
one,
feel better
Targa.
to
The
me.
Targa's the best one.
Targa's
No,
good.
it's
The Targa.
not.
Yeah,
I
it
just
is.
had the
It
new
weighs
Turbo
about
S and it was
20,000
fast.
pounds.
No, it doesn't matter. The new Targa's the best
It
one.
sucks.
No, it's the best one.
No
It's
way.
the most desirable of all.
It looks cool, but
Yeah.
it weighs
Ooh, I
about
disagree
4
too.
tons.
So what? It's so good.
No
It's so
way.
fucking good.
No
That's the
way.
one. I spent like 2 days at the Nürburgring with that thing. Just brilliant.
Dude, you could spend 2 days with the Nürburgring with the Transit
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
like,
Yes.
you guys, the
Yeah,
Ford
yeah, the
Yeah.
Transit.
All right,
is
then
where
I
it's
drove to
all-
Hamburg and it was brilliant. It's a brilliant car.
That's
way.
so funny.
Brilliant car. That's the one. Actually, though, I have driven. I think what is probably the best car I've ever driven, which is the new GT3 with the manual.
Oh, that's what everyone
Not
says.
driven it.
Oh,
Everyone-
I've driven the new
everyone-
GT3. The engine is.
But is that better than the
insane.
Targa,
Is it?
Johnny?
It's
Yeah,
RS
it is
motor,
better than
isn't
the
it?
Targa.
Pardon?
Isn't it kind of like
No,
the
it's
RS?
the,
No,
it's
no,
the
no,
next
no,
step
no.
up.
Oh, it's
the
the
new,
next
it's
one.
the
much
new,
better.
it's the new
It's
engine.
much better. I didn't
It's
think they could make
insane.
it better, but
They
it's
did.
a lot
Yeah, they
better.
made it better. But
It's
then
so good.
the manual is so
Actually, this is sacrilege. You know what I kind of would like to see? A car with that GT3 motor and the hybrid system out of the Panamera S.
sure.
Like that.
It would be crazy.
They'll get
I think it would be
I'm sure they're
super
doing
crazy.
it. I'm sure they're doing it.
They're going to have to do it. I drove the 911 GT3 R hybrid they built for the.
Oh, that race car thing
So
with
it
the
had,
flywheel.
Like, had a flywheel.
92
next to it.
flywheel
In-
spinning at
you
90,000
have to
RPM.
you have to wear
It-
Kevlar pants.
Yeah, like carbon fiber housing that's about this big.
yeah.
It was. I tell you what, though, it was awesome.
Yeah.
and it was the race guys loved. I drove it like the power is crazy, but the race guys loved it because it had so much ability to change the balance of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said the tires, as the tires wore out, they just adjusted it, and it felt
Right.
like it had brand new tires on
Right,
the whole
just
tire.
compensated
for
They
it.
said it was just
based on the
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
great
I
until
think
you
it
have a
was-
blowout at 200 because you forget.
I think
But
it
on
was
the
like, I
race
think it was
car,
like
they
like
said
a
it was
90-pound
so good.
disc spinning at I think 40,000 RPM.
Oh, it was
so it just
insane. The
created
noise.
this force.
That's you know what I just tested some yachts. Okay, and
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a
you've been getting
tangent
into
here.
both. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
there's this thing called the Seakeeper.
Okay.
That is a 1,200-pound gyro that you put at the bottom of your fucking hull of your 55-foot boat, and when you flip this bitch on, the boat stops rocking.
Really?
Swear to God, you have this boat in seas, and the boat stops rocking.
Wow.
You can go 90 degrees to the waves. You can get
So-
so this boat has a new Volvo IPS drive, which has a hover mode. So you don't have to drop anchor. You just boop, hover, and the boat stays within 3 feet. You combine that with the Seakeeper, you can stop this thing broadside to waves, and this gyro will keep you from rocking
Really?
side
Wait,
to side.
but
It is sick.
When a wave hits a boat and the boat leans, then
Yes.
obviously you have more room for the wave to not crash over the deck. Is there a point at which, if this stays
Well,
flat,
I mean, look,
really
I did
bad.
not.
Right. I'm
This
just
is not. This is not. No, no, no.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
isn't a system designed for deadliest catch.
Yeah.
This is like a recreational.
Right.
okay, just
with-
in
yeah.
shop it stays stable.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
at Monaco and like you don't want to like trip when you're getting off.
Yeah,
to
no.
go to
I mean,
dinner.
look, we did it like it kind of with kind of big waves. I mean, like 3-4 foot on the side. It
yeah.
wasn't like a storm, but it was. You could stop the boat in open ocean.
Wow.
With 90 degrees to the waves, and it would stop it rocking. And that must be, what having a crazy horizontal flywheel in your passenger floor wheel.
Yeah,
So it's
maybe.
funny,
I
so-
think it was just they could just power the front independently and do whatever they wanted to do. But when we left the pit lane, we left in electric mode, so in a front wheel drive 911.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
electric mode only. It was crazy.
What's funny, I just got to drive a Mercedes Simplex, a 1903 Simplex.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Amazing. But it has this giant, I think it's a 130-pound flywheel. And it just, once it's going, that's what you're cranking. And once that's going, you have torque. So, like, it was a race car. It was built as a race car back in, like, I think the first one was 1901 or something. But it was amazing because it was this torquey, crazy thing.
What did it rev to? Like 300 or something? It rev between
Didn't have a
1
tachometer. So if the main bearing started like slowing the flywheel down, there was a little zerk to kind of grease it. You could actually like oil the main bearing to keep the engine
As you're going
spinning.
along, nice.
It was so cool. It was the coolest thing. And like,
Was it really hard to drive?
the only thing that was weird, it was the pedal layout was brake, gas, clutch, brake.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so what it was is
And the brakes didn't work. Whichever,
they worked-
whichever pedal you
No,
hit.
they work fine,
There's
they
two
work fine.
pedals. But they
No,
don't
One
work.
front and one rear?
No. So if you look, the car's chain drive.
Okay.
So it had two sprockets sticking out either side. So one brake, it's kind of hard to explain. One brake pedal broke the right side, and the other did the left. But they're connected on a solid axle. But it's it's basically you get more pressure with 2 feet.
It's like McLaren brakes
It sounds
there.
like like Cessna brakes, actually, like
Yeah.
what you do on an
Years
airplane.
early.
Yeah, a little bit
Yeah,
like that.
like a
actually.
tank.
Yeah, but it was cool. The only thing that's weird is that you're like, I'm gonna get on the power now, and the rightmost pedal is a brake pedal, and so you're like, oh. Well. But
Yeah.
it also created some great things. Where I'm gonna brake, and you hit the gas, and you're like, you better steer. And it was a race car. It's steered, and it's like it was like the first modern car. But again, it had this humongous.
Just call it the first modern car. I don't think that's the first modern car.
Okay, well, it was the first car to have a radiator out front.
I don't think that's enough.
Hang on. Okay, it was the first car to have. It was the first car to have a steering column that didn't go straight up and down. It was at an angle. It was the first car where you didn't sit on top of the. I mean, it was really
On a 10 scale, you're about a 2.7
It was
with
really.
this one.
It was really.
Well,
There's
it
a
had
lot
pieces
other
of it. I'll agree with you.
yeah,
Like the
it
Model
was-
T wasn't, it had model layout things, but it had a lot of other things that went away.
Well,
They
Model
all
T
had
was
pieces.
like 10 years after the Simplex.
You ever driving Model T, Jethro?
No.
You know who's got Model Ts is John from Persang, who got you
Oh,
that
he's got
Bugatti.
loads of cool
He's
ones.
got all the Model
I-
Ts. We
that-
got to get him in a Model T.
Yeah.
I've never driven a Model
I'm
T.
You
not
haven't?
I've sat in them. I've never driven.
Oh, you guys have to come drive Model Ts
I'm
with
not
me.
love
into that
to.
vintage stuff.
Well,
I
you
to
should
say.
have to
That
try it.
Persang was
Awesome.
the first thing I was like, wow,
You've gotta try
this
it.
is
It's
cool.
You
so
should.
hard.
You should. No, but this was easy to drive. That's what's
Was
so
it?
cool about it.
That would
Yeah.
be shocking.
And it was fun, and I mean, I had a top speed of 70, and I never got
that thing
it-
went
pretty
70?
quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
I got up to probably 50. I never got out of third gear.
How many gears did it have? Four?
Four-speed.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a manual H pattern, but it was very modern compared to what was
Wait,
out.
what
in
year is this?
1903. In
You had
1900,
a 4-speed manual
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
floor? Or on
outside of the
side?
cabin.
Yeah. But yeah, it counts.
Next to the handbrake. The handbrake broke the rear wheels. The brakes just break the gears. But what was so insane was it had all these crazy copper little twisty guys for the oiling. So like this was the first cylinder, second cylinder, third cylinder, fourth cylinder, transmission. There was 2 for the transmission.
Oh my God.
And you had a navigator, and his job was like to crank the knobs.
And what was it, like a 12-litre 4-cylinder or something?
It was I want to say 7.2 liter 4-cylinder. Made 45 horsepower. Total loss oiling system. You know, eventually all the oil was out of it.
Wait.
Wow.
Say that again. A total. So it would just spent oil was just gone.
So before this car, the way radiators worked was you'd go on a drive and you had to bring twice as much water as gasoline because you had total loss radiators.
Oh.
And so this was the first sealed radiator. It was really modern, but the oiling system was total loss. Just like you had gas, you'd add oil, and eventually the oil just kind of dripped out of the engine.
That's amazing. And then some guy was like, "I'm Stephen J. Oil Pan, and I have an idea."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but this thing, it was the first car that had like, I want to say pressurized camshafts or something. Things wild. But like before you start it, you like pump up the fuel pressure and you pump up the oil pressure. It was really cool. It was really cool. It was fun. I mean,
you really should drive a Model T.
I'd love to.
I
I
think
we
you'd find.
should go and see John. He's
You
a cool
should go
dude.
and see John
He's
and
a
drive
cool
Model
dude.
Ts.
Yeah.
It's
Where's he
hilarious.
at?
Costa Mesa.
Oh yeah.
I'm going tomorrow morning. You want to come down?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
we're busy.
I'm borrowing his trailer for the YouTuber Challenge in Vegas.
Oh yeah, what's that?
You want me to plug it?
Yeah.
So Rob Ferretti, who is a YouTuber, is having a challenge with YouTubers and their project cars. So me and a few other people are.
So what are you taking?
I have a Mustang. Have you seen
Okay.
this? It's like an '88
IRS.
Mustang. Yeah, that's a pretty heavy duty chassis build car that does not have a lot of power, but it has a lot of stick.
And what's the challenge?
So Justin Bell is coming
Oh, okay.
to stunt drive. So Justin is going to drive and see who's got the fastest car, and then we're all going with him
You're not
driving.
On a
racing each
circuit?
other.
No, not wheel to wheel. And then we all drive our own cars to
No.
see who's got the fastest car and driver combo.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
This is on a road course, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Come out. Here's the oh no, this is gonna go up after anyway.
Who are the other YouTubers?
So this guy Rob Dom.
I've heard the name.
Yeah.
I know him.
He's a Mazda guy. He's got a 3-rotor RX-7 FD RX-7.
It was Matt's Mustang.
That's my
Oh, wow,
Mustang,
yeah.
which is a pretty neat little car
Yeah, it's
actually.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Wide
down
body,
on power,
square
but
stance.
it's got 295s at all 4
You
corners.
better hope those boys we saw at Willow Springs aren't there with their project
with
cars.
the homebrewed freaking Indy car.
The guy built a
I was
home.
thinking about the family of
the family.
YouTubers.
God, these we.
Get closer to the microphone.
There's these Skittle supercars, right? So there's an orange 570S, and there's a blue GTR, and there's a
Green
red
Huracan,
green
rear-wheel
Huracan rear-wheel
drive.
drive. There's a red GT 3RS, and there was a red and black Ferrari 488.
48, yeah.
So we're like, oh, maybe Top Gear USA's filming or something. You know, we don't know.
Yeah.
These guys pull up, and the Dubrow brothers.
I can't remember the name.
I can't remember their name. The Debro brothers. They're all brothers. I think the oldest one's maybe 25, and they get out of the cars. They're not wearing shirts.
At all?
They're putting their shirts on. They were really nice guys. They were
nice
really nice
guys.
guys. But it was just kind of funny, you know. And
Ah,
I
it's
was like,
hilarious.
I was like, oh, you know. And then all the cars are wrapped and like, you know.
The
just like-
youngest one
What
literally
it-
at like 14.
I think he
and
was
he was
14.
driving like a 488.
yeah.
So what's the deal?
They
were making
said they were
YouTube
doing
videos.
a vlog. They were doing
yeah,
a vlog.
yeah.
I don't know who they are, but
They knew us.
They
but,
got nice cars.
Wow.
Yeah, they
They
had.
got
they
nice
had, I was.
cars.
Like, I just. They're like, these are our cars. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
A lot apparently.
Yeah.
No. All right. Cool.
Dubrow, bro. Debro?
Something like
Debro?
that, yeah.
Debro?
I don't know.
One of the guys
I
was
don't-
really nice. I
Nice
talked to him for a
guys,
while.
yeah.
Yeah, really cool
Yeah.
guy.
but no shirts.
no
He had
shirt.
a shirt. I think it's the older ones.
Wrapped-
that-
They were
Wrapped
putting their
cars.
shirts on as they got out of the car, which
Wrapped
was
cars,
weird.
no
Yeah.
shirts.
Now also,
So their bit is they drive
also,
with no shirt
they
on.
if you
drive
were
with
built
no
like
shirt.
these guys, you probably wouldn't wear a shirt all that
Oh,
much either.
I understand.
You know
that
what I'm
perspective.
we wear shirts.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm much better clothed.
yeah.
I have a much better taste in shopping for shirts than I
Yes.
do in having body.
Yeah. I'm 100% with you.
I try, but there's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
Got project cars to build.
The project cars. Oh, and then Rob Ferretti is putting the thing on. He's got this C5 Corvette that's it's like an 02, I think, and it's got a built motor, iron block with a turbo on it.
So
and it
Fox
makes I don't know,
Body, C5, and FD
RX-7, and then
RX-7.
David Patterson, who's that dude in blue on YouTube, has a 240 S. He's a nice kid. He's got a 240 SX with a 2J in it.
It's kind of like a Lemons
I think
race,
I've seen
like
that.
gone wild. It's kind of cool.
Well, I have my car, I believe, to be the most reliable.
Sure, because it's the lowest power.
And also,
FDZ,
I have a very a pretty professionally sorted chassis that's really been
Can
adjusted
these
over.
guys drive? Because you're a good driver. I've seen you
I'm a
drive.
decent driver.
You're pretty good.
I think I'm probably the best driver of that group.
Okay.
I think.
Justin's pretty good.
Well, no, not excluding Justin.
Oh, yeah,
Justin
yeah,
can
okay,
be.
okay,
No, no.
okay, yeah.
Justin's being hired
Yeah.
as a pro. He can.
Okay.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Like guys like Justin and like Harris and that probably have like a second and a half a lap on me at like most tracks. But just all right, it's life. Anyway.
Justin's probably slightly faster
It'll be
than
fun.
Harris.
I think the next time, by the time we do the next
Slight.
show, I'll have a report on how
Cool.
that went.
That
Yeah,
sounds
sounds
like
good.
It's in Las
Good luck.
Vegas.
Cool. We should build a car.
It's actually gonna be cooler.
We have a BRZ that we're supposed to do something with.
I
Don't
love
you
project
guys-
cars. We
Yeah.
should always have
Yeah?
a project car.
You
yeah.
should.
Yeah, we have a BRZ.
I made the
There's
mistake
a lot of
trying to
engine
build
swap
a
kits now.
sub 8-minute M3 back in the day.
A Nürburgring car.
Yeah, E36.
E36
M3. And I put a
and-
big sticker on the bonnet that said, like, big Nürburgring sticker that said target 8 minutes.
Oh my God!
And then
How
I was-
did you?
and then
was
I
that
went
the last
to the
time you
Nürburgring, and I
ever
was
made a
like,
projection
this
like
this
that?
was a bad idea. This was a really bad
gosh.
idea.
But yeah, Jethro has raced in Nürburgring 24-hour like 3 times.
Yeah, a
Wow.
few times.
And if you go to
Once
the toy
was in
store,
a Fiat 500, so it doesn't really count.
Still
Yeah.
bonkers.
but you go to the toy store at the Nürburgring gas station, and there's 3 toy cars with his name on them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a good. Did you buy them?
I've
Stupidly new
got
one.
2 of them. The third one's to come out. I did M4 GT4 this year. So and there's a
How was
company
that
and
as a
they-
race car?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you can go to the ring and race is like super cool, but to be with a factory,
Yeah.
it's a totally different way of doing things. And with BMW, they'll throw tires at it. If you give them any feedback, they'll change everything. They'll get new electronics programs sent overnight from the factory. It's
Do you chase a
awesome.
gig like that, or do they invite you to come race?
They invited me, which sounds good, but I think basically there's 2 journalists in the world who've got a Nordschleife A license, which is what you need to race.
is
So
you
it's
and
probably
Chris?
me and Chris,
Yeah.
and Chris didn't want to do it, so I probably got the call because I think he
Chris, I'm incredibly jealous of the opportunities. I mean, obviously he's earned them. His skill is
Yeah.
pretty high level.
I think
but
he's desperate to do it in a GT3 car. I think he wants to do a
I
full
mean, he
GT3
just got to do
car.
that 250 LM thing at Goodwood.
That looked the
That
best.
was
I think that's
Yeah,
my
that looked pretty
favorite
nice.
Ferrari ever.
We were in
It's
Iceland
so
together,
beautiful.
and he's just like, "Look what I get to race," and I was
Yeah.
like, "I fucking hate you." Just
Yeah.
this shit.
although there's some Twitter buzz about that being a replica car.
They're
Is
all
it really?
replica
He
cars.
said it was in the video.
They're
Yeah,
all,
there's something
yeah.
about it. It was built up from a different
says it
chassis.
in the
Did
video
you
on his
cares?
front
It's a
screen.
250
But
LM.
did you
that's
see
all,
that?
you know.
Did you see that huge crash at the revival?
The 330, whatever
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. Did you see the interior of that car? It's a replica. It's
Oh, really?
coming
Would it have
from
a
Romania.
Datsun interior or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Well, no, but it's a very nice car.
Tell me that Goodwood and Lemons have the same 60 at 60 rule.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's probably a mix. It's probably people in real ones and people
I think they're all
in
replicas.
good replicas.
I
You
think they're
so?
all. Yeah,
I think there are.
I mean,
real-
can't you? You can race a Persang at Goodwood, can't you?
Here's
no,
what-
they always say you can't race them. I guess there will be some that are.
Here's my thing, though, right? You talk to the British, they're like, the Monterey Historics are bullshit because no one's really racing. At Goodwood Revival, we're rubbing. All the cars are fake. I'd rub them too. You go to Monterey, they're the real cars. It's actually a $50 million
Fair
car.
point.
Yeah.
And this is a replica of a $50 million car.
But the revival is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
when
not
you
love the
saying
racing.
it's
I
not.
love
I mean, the
racing.
racing there
I
is
seem like
so
I think
cool.
I would enjoy that. Is it really that? Don't burst the bubble that badly. Is it real? They're really all fake.
They're all
cars?
fake.
Really?
The guys who own them,
Queen and Country.
I would say.
One of the guys that own them have the real one in the garage
they
at home,
do.
so they're allowed to bring the fake one.
I
out
don't
to
know if
Goodwood?
they're fake. There's a lot
That's
of rumors,
hysterical.
but there are a lot of
There are a
rumors.
lot of rumors.
There are a
But
lot
Right,
of
the cars are
rumors.
fake,
you
but the
watch-
costumes are real. God damn it!
If you want, just look at the interior there's an interior GoPro of that car crashing, and then just go to Wikipedia and pull up a 250 GTO or whatever it was interior, and like, boy, that's really, really different.
Yeah.
But you know
like,
what?
okay.
If they built a spec 250 GTO,
Absolutely.
one make race series,
No,
I'd be all up for
Oh,
that.
the cars
If-
were like
yeah,
80 grand.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
who
The
cares?
racing's killer.
The
Yeah.
racing is so good.
Yeah,
It's
I like
awesome.
the
Spec
saloons.
250
Yeah, the
GTO.
saloons.
The Mark
and-
II Jags is like the coolest thing in the world.
I think, and Goodwood's it's like Big Willow where we've been this week. It's like so fast.
Yeah, no
There's
brecks.
Have you
there's
driven
Yeah.
that? You've driven the circuit? I've never
Goodwood.
driven it.
Yeah, I've driven
driven
it. It's
Is it
scary.
awesome? It is?
It's scary.
It's 'cause it's
a
old school?
big oval-y kind of thing.
It's old school, but there's no runoff. There's no
Yeah.
runoff. It is. If you drive, I've hardly driven there at all, but I drove like a Mini Cooper race car there, and round the back, I was doing like 135, and I thought, shit, if you're in one of the big cars, you are moving really quick, and you've got very little braking. But it's a proper place.
Yeah, I drove, I think, all 4 generations of the Miata there, and it was like it was pretty damn good. It was pretty. Damn
It's cool.
Good.
Have you ever been to Brainerd?
No, I've heard about it, but
Brainerd, I'm jealous because you guys have more budget to do things than we
Yeah.
do. But if I was you, I would go to Brainerd. It's in Minnesota, and they have the fastest right-hand corner in North America. They use the whole front straight and of the road course.
Faster than turn 8 at Big Willow.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's 160 miles an hour.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah, it's fast.
Wow.
And so it's long front straight, which it consists of their drag strip and slowdown area into a banked 160
banked,
mile an
okay.
hour corner. And then maybe a couple hundred yards, and then like 130 mile an hour corner that's sort of like turn 8 and 9 at
It's
Big
like
Willow.
Daytona.
And
That's
then
crazy.
you slow down into a 35 mile an hour corner. It's extremely gnarly, but it's that old school terrifying death vibe.
Death.
'Cause
That's
I've
what
done-
makes
if-
all
have
the
you
best
d-
circuits.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, have you done the handling course at the Nardo, the infield?
No, everyone tells me that is
That's
the
best.
best.
Track. That's the best track.
That
But
is the best.
The left-hander, I drove the Centenario there, which I think really hauls the fucking mail and has actual downforce.
Yeah.
It's about 170 miles an hour left-hander. It's insane.
Yeah.
And it took me 6 laps to like get the balls up, and finally I was like, all right, I think I understand aero now, and like it works. And like the faster you go, the more it sticks.
Yeah, the arrow is a thing that is a hurdle that you really have to mentally get through.
It
the
separates
first couple
real
times.
race car drivers from us chumps, but it's pretty nuts.
I've had the experience a couple times. It takes some bravery to get there, and then you do, and you're like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
But when you feel it, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't feel like something different. You just you have to have the balls to.
It just
to
feels like
make it
more.
work. But it just
Yeah.
feels like more grit. You don't.
You have to be going fast enough to make it work, though. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So usually when you get scared, you slow down, and this is get scared and speed up, which is just
The only
you have to
time I've
trick your
noticed it
brain.
is when I got to drive an aero car on a track I'm used to.
Exactly.
You know, where it
Yeah,
goes,
that's what I mean.
wow, I've never taken that this fast. You know,
Yeah.
that's really where it was more noticeable. If it was on a brand new track, I'm not sure.
The only
could
reason I know is
separate it.
because we had a driver who was pacing us, and like there was this whatever it was, there's this awesome, amazing. It looks like you're jumping into the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing in the world. And but if you take it at like 120, if you're brave enough to do it, because you can't see it, just you're heading up a hill, and then as you come down, you're like ocean and then track.
Yeah.
But with the arrow, it just sticks, and you just never leave the ground. But at slower speeds, it launches. So you
That's
have-
crazy.
It's weird. Yeah,
Are there any
it's
driving
cool.
schools that do aero stuff? Like when you did the open wheel
Sure,
skippy
those-
thing, like does
Yeah,
that have real aero
downforce,
or not
Those
really?
dirt track
Driving
ones,
school.
those dirt track schools.
Sprint, maybe.
Oh, we're supposed to do that in November.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, buddy.
There's a dirt oval school.
Oh, really?
Helen,
Yeah.
I like the idea.
They offer you
should
two.
do that.
Yeah,
can do
you
that.
definitely should.
There's a little near my house back in England. Weirdly, there's like a little dirt track where they do that Formula One stuff with the massive, great sideways wing, 700
The
horsepower
asymmetrical
V8.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They do
That's
that
what
in
we're
England?
doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because Nick Tandy, the Porsche Le Mans driver, he grew up doing that. So he started off. He didn't do all the karting and all that stuff. His dad was a farmer,
really
and he did
funny.
like mini stocks, and then he
not
did
know
the
that.
bigger cars. So yeah, and it's literally I can hear it from my house. at
It's
the
crazy.
weekends.
The one we're doing, you got 700 horsepower, like underneath your balls. It's like single speed, and the brake and
Direct drive.
and the direct drive and the pedals are totally different. It's like you don't press on the brake pedal. You like roll your foot on this weird. I've had it described to me. It's like a ball because your foot would bounce around so much in the dirt. I guess you have to just press it down
So
and
who
then like
builds
move
a
back and
ball
forth.
pedal?
Yeah, it's
I
like a
drove
ball
that,
pedal.
That Fiero thing that had 700 horsepower that had a ball pedal on it. It was shit.
It's gonna be like that.
No, not like a nipple, right?
Yeah.
Imagine instead of a pedal, it was just a rod with a metal skateboard wheel on the end of it, and that's your pedal.
I feel like a Countach clutch is like that.
I don't think so. I think it's a normal pedal.
Oh, there's something, or a Viper clutch.
I want to plug. We're doing it with Corey
something weird.
Cruzman, who does it up in like Ventura, and he does schools like half day schools, and we're gonna get to
In
do
the
it.
UK, it's all done by like scrap dealers and their kids, and then they race and then they beat the shit out of each other. It's that sort of vibe.
I went to one of these
basically.
races in North Carolina where all the NASCAR guys live, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all the kids of the NASCAR.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Dale
Yeah,
Earnhardt Jr.'s daughter, and so they'll have like a proper Rick Hendrick Motorsports race hauler holding up to this thing, and like a 10-year-old is pushing the sprint car out. And it's fucking
I've
crazy.
been to some of those things like those half-mile bull rings where they do like old B-body NASCAR chat.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like those guys are
Redneck
mental.
racing is some next level shit.
Yeah,
You seen
it's
the
really
chain
cool.
school buses?
Yeah.
The what?
They do it a figure eight. You know figure eight racing,
Yeah.
where you cross in the middle, and
yeah.
they'll chain 2 school buses together, and the front school bus will have a working engine and no brakes, and the back school bus will have no engine and brakes, and that they put 1 driver in each. That's the shit. Tim, pull up a picture
seems
of chain
really
school
fun.
bus racing
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
It
No,
seems super
fuck,
fun.
for real, this is the
And
thing.
there's other cars going around at the same time.
There's
Yeah.
multiple chained school buses.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
multiple buses.
Yeah.
It's an advanced form of demo derby, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the other
This is
one
where
that's
the
cool-
shit gets
do you ever
real.
see boat tow racing, where they're towing
Yeah, where they're
boats
towing
and
boats on
and the
trailers.
boats don't survive. It's amazing. You have to haul a boat around.
Oh, we
a
do
figure
ca-
eight.
yeah,
What
they
is
do
there some
caravan
video
racing
game
in
where
the
you do
UK.
this? Because all you get are video game graphics. Chain school
Look up bus
racing?
figure eight racing.
Bus figure eight racing, maybe? That doesn't... The results are not pretty for that.
Oh, I see one down at the bottom, middle-ish, between those 2 rings.
Bus?
No, it's
Oh, there you go.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
single
That's
buses.
just single buses, but that is
Which
figure
is still
eight bus
ballistic.
racing.
So the
It's like a Top Gear challenge,
the
really,
coolest-
but just with
It
no
is.
video cameras and more
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah,
the
more
coolest
beer, I was gonna
redneck thing
say.
I ever saw was, and it was in California, but at Altamont, back
Yeah.
when that was open, they had the pumpkin smash. So it was like the day after Halloween, and they took 10,000 pumpkins and just smashed them on the track, and they did like just figure eight racing on pumpkins, and you can just imagine the carnage. It
So
was,
slippery.
It was insane. Yeah.
See if you can find
Yeah.
a picture of the Altamont pumpkin smash, Timmy, because I need to see
Tim,
what
Tim,
that
do,
looks
Tim,
like.
do Ultimate Pumpkin Smash Ford Escort, because Marilyn Martin caught this Ford. So everybody's in like a Monte Carlo,
Yeah.
except for this guy's in a Ford Escort. He does the most heroic driving. It's a video. Look at this video.
Oh, we may have. Can we play videos successfully? Do you think? Can we roll the dice?
No audio.
No
You
audio?
don't need
That's
audio.
okay.
It's fine. Yeah.
All right.
It's the best. I don't know if it's still on the internet, but it's the best.
Altamont.
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 You got it right.
Don't make me get a producer that can spell better.
It may not be on the internet anymore, but like basically they were trying to kill this car because it was the smallest thing there.
Yeah.
And they like pit maneuver the guy, and he spins around, throws in reverse, goes down the straight in reverse, then like handbrakes at 180, takes off. All the other big cars are crashing into each other. It was amazing. It was just
It
like,
sounds golden.
so
you find
good.
it?
So good.
I found a highlights thing.
Altamont Pumpkin Smash highlights. All right.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyways, Altamont's dead, but Pumpkin Smash was like the greatest thing. Like so brilliant, you know.
Sounds insane.
Oh, it was insane. It was insane.
Racing on pumpkins.
Oh, 10,000 pumpkins. Like, why not?
Why
That's
not?
like we used to put cornstarch on the go-kart track. It's like that. It makes
I
it
never did
slick
that.
as shit. Did you find it?
Ford Escort loses it.
Ford
Yes.
Escort loses it.
Loses
the
it,
Altamont.
wins
All
it.
right, full screen that. Oh, here he goes. He's
Look,
reversed.
look. Yeah.
Oh my god, what a disaster!
Look at the pumpkins.
They've all kind of been they've all been sent to the infield at this point.
Well, yeah, the race starts out much more colorful, but but look at how crowded it is. This is like before Lemons really took off. This is what they were doing on, because the first Lemons race was Altamont.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
fun.
Yeah. But it was this
Have
huge
you-
tradition. It was awesome.
Have you done any American shitbox racing yet?
No, I want to do that.
You should do- we can do
fancy going
lemons.
that.
Yeah,
As
we
long
can
as I
do
don't have to
lemons.
fix any cars, because
No, we don't.
I cannot do
He's-
anything.
People like us
that.
don't have to do those.
I can't do
so
that.
the best thing happened. We're filming the Nürburgring episode. So we're doing. We start off doing like I hit 300 kilometers an hour. On the
Congratulations.
autobahn. It was good. Yeah.
Good.
However, it's Germany, so on our second take, just like torrential rain.
This rainstorm came in that you just wouldn't believe. The autobahn stopped. You couldn't see
Whoa.
in front of your
Yeah.
face. It was
So
unreal.
video people. So where do they put the GoPro? Right where the windshield wiper can hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I'm sitting there. You can't see, cannot see out the window, but I can see the windshield wiper hitting the GoPro and spinning it,
no.
and it's turning like 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 40,
Oh.
and eventually it just
Oh,
pops
wow.
off. So like an idiot, I jump out of the car.
I
on
can't
the
believe you
auto-
did that. What were you thinking?
I don't know what I was thinking.
I must save that $300 GoPro. That's
It's
got
not
no
the GoPro. It's
no.
the footage that
the
might
footage
be
is
on
just
it.
you
It's the
driving
shit
slowly in
footage.
the rain.
Don't leave me alone. So
That was the only footage.
this is how cheap my company is. They beat it into you like you must sacrifice your life for the GoPro.
Oh, my
Anyways,
God.
so I get up, can't see shit, and I'm drowning. It was that kind of rain. Like literally the autobahn where we were 5 minutes earlier, going 190 miles an hour.
Just
is
stopped.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
So then we pull in and we both have busted windshield
So
wipers.
mine was the same. The GoPro had stayed on, but the windscreen wiper had flown off. So we retrieved our windscreen wipers, and then we spent like 35 minutes trying to put these wiper blades back
And
on.
he's like roadkill could have rebuilt a small block, like stripped it down, and we couldn't get two
We're
windshield
literally
wipers.
like bashing rocks against these wipers.
You
But
are
we
going to be
fixed them.
right at
We
home with
fixed
guys
them.
like us.
Yeah, but we fixed it. We fixed it. I will say.
Well, my brother, so he's a mechanic, so he's got all of that stuff. I can't do any of it. And
he's literally.
I'm
useless. Like,
terrible.
I watched him trying to change a tire. I mean, it was.
I could change
I just
a
can't
tire.
do
Easy.
it.
Yeah.
I was on YouTube earlier trying to figure out how this can opener worked in this Airbnb that I'd never used this time.
What was it about the can opener that got you? I must
It
know.
was like I'm used to like one where
Show
you
it on the
pinch
radio.
it and then you turn, but it was like you had to put it on top. It was weird. And it was just before the night shoot with a McLaren, and I was like,
actually worse than.
I'm
Really?
I'm
Yeah.
about to go
Good.
and slide a $350,000 McLaren round downtown LA, and I can't open.
So
the
you're a
can
savant.
tomorrow.
You are good at one thing and only one
That's
thing.
what I
He
say.
says
It's
it
my
every
only
time.
talent.
Like we were sliding. Oh, so speaking of racetracks, Castelloli.
Oh yeah.
What is
so good.
Castelloli?
Oh my God, it's in Spain. It's just paradise on earth. It's like
It's right near Barcelona, right near Montserrat. So there's amazing Montserrat mountain road.
Yeah.
And then you come to this racetrack, and it's just cut into the side of the hill. It's got like a Scalextric style crossover. It's awesome.
it's
Is
50
this, wait, is
feet
this a
wide.
guy's private track
No.
by any chance?
No. If you can hire it out, we rented it
rented
out.
it for
But it's the
nothing.
best thing about it. Like all the best tracks, you turn up, you sign a bit of paperwork.
12. You pay €12 insurance.
Yeah, €12 insurance, and then they open the gate, and then they shut the gate, and then you never see
never-
another
Oh,
human being
oh,
for the
it's
whole
nice.
day.
They come by
It's
to look
so
like,
good.
Oh, it's pretty. You know, I love
And then
it.
they
How do you-
leave.
They
yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
And then
How
at
do you
the end,
spell
a
this
couple
place?
of
It's spelled Castelloli.
Castelloi.
But it's pronounced Castelloli. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
spelled Castelloli, but Castelloli. And there's not even advertisements. You know
That's
what I
the
mean?
best.
It's
It's
just
so
like
good.
this private race.
And there's
track.
elevation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Massive.
massive elevation,
Massive.
crossovers.
And the track, like most racetracks are like 40 feet wide. This one's like 50 or 60 feet wide.
It's awesome. It's meant to be a motorbike track, but it's better than any motorbike track
Yeah,
I've been
it's-
on.
Have you
So
been to
we're-
Palmer yet in Massachusetts?
No.
Sounds kind of like that.
But
It goes
we're moving
up a
to
huge
Spain.
mountain.
But
You're
unlike,
moving to Spain.
But like,
Talk
unlike,
to Thaddeus. He wants to do that.
Unlike a lot of modern tracks, there's no bullshit like, okay, every corner is going to be a blind, decreasing radius, off camber, stunt corner. You know, it's like you can just haul ass on this thing, and it's fun to drive. You know what I
Cool.
mean? It's like the best track.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so
Sounds
we're
fun.
moving to Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a European base there.
Enjoy yourself.
Barcelona, good
Yeah,
food.
and we should get another Persian on
racetrack.
there. Yeah, the food's great, the roads are great, weather's great.
I like Barcelona.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Isn't their economy fucked? Can't you buy a
Yeah.
crib for Italy? Is that the track?
As Jethro said, I think we rented the track because we promised to walk the guy's dog or something.
They're like, what's the fee going to be? I was like, feed his dogs for a week or something. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
pretty
But it was good.
It was pretty good.
It was good. But yeah, that is my one talent. So
Yeah, that was my whole point. Was that like I was trying to drift the Lexus, and I was like, you know, it was, and so he's like, I have one God-given talent, and he's just like,
Yeah.
90 miles an hour up a hill, like amazing.
yeah, that was cool. But we were working with my little crew from England, so they know. They just like
Yeah. Oh,
they
these
lie
guys-
on the curves.
These guys
they're,
are a comedy act.
they're insane.
They're the best crew. I mean, I hate
So
saying
what's
this,
your
but I
deal?
love my
What do you
crew.
go? You go over there half the time, and he comes over here
So
half the time. Is that how the deal
Basically,
works?
I've been waiting for my visa, which has just been this massive, protracted
It was-
nightmare.
it was
I mean, I don't trust you, so I don't blame them
Yeah,
for not
yeah.
trusting you
it's,
either.
it's quite hard to get into the US these days, basically.
No.
So
Our
we've
awesome,
sort of split.
open-minded president.
So we went, yeah. So basically, the first 3 head-to-heads we shot, I went over to Europe, and but his crew, Sam and Guy, I mean, they're a comedy duo. They don't know it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we got
they-
Guy, who's like the angriest man in the world.
Yeah, he
and,
literally like the microphone, you know, lav how they always are not working.
Yeah.
It's not working. He's just like, fuck! You know, like, just like, it's so angry. And
then-
like, it happens every time
Every
you use a
time.
lav. Always, right?
and then
It doesn't work.
And then Sam's Captain Chaos, I call him, because everything he touches is just a disaster.
So Jethro's
It's so
describing,
funny.
yeah. So he's like, just everything he touches blows up. He says something like that. So first time working with him in Wales, I'm coming to my hotel room and I hear this crash in the hallway, and I come around the corner and there's Sam and his like Pelican case had opened up, and there's just like shit covering the hallway. And it's just like, if you imagine everything you use to do a shoot stuffed into one case. Not our guys sit there.
Organized.
Well, because when our guys are done, then it'll take 2 hours to like wrap a cable. I don't know what they're doing. Their camera stuff. Yeah. He just stuffs it in there, shuts it, and it just blew up.
Brilliant. And you must have been at that point thinking, we're not in safe hands.
Yeah.
We are not in
Some
safe
people
hands.
just, they've got a system that
Sam's
works only for them.
I love these guys. I mean, they're just awesome.
They're a funny little
and
team.
they have no fear. We'll be going, way over 100 miles an hour, and they're not like on the white line. They're like in the freaking road, and I'm like, don't die.
And then you always get the little crackle on the radio. Can you come a bit closer, Gordon? Can you come a bit closer?
Yeah.
It's just
They're
unreal.
Awesome. So we're actually, I think, bringing them out in November to show them how we do it out here.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to bring them on the show as well.
Yeah, you
Oh
should.
my God, Sam on this show? Get him talking about ladies?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, they're a good team. Yeah, we'll get them on. That'd be funny.
No, they're a crack up.
Sounds like a party.
Yeah.
Did they, when you worked at Evo, did they send everyone to these driving schools so that everyone at the team knew how to drive and they all could ride? Or is it just like, hey, we got a budget, let's go have fun?
No, so they wanted. When I started, there was only like John and Dickie really who were the road testers who were both brilliant drivers, and so they naturally wanted someone who could be quite good. And I went there. I wasn't like a great driver or anything like that. I'd just done normal driving. I was 23 or whatever I was, 24. But they just let me practice. The great thing was they always had the racetrack. So they'd go and do the lap times at one end of the racetrack, and then I'd go to, we used to use a place called Bedford Autodrome that had like 10 different configurations. So then I'd go to like the little circuit in the corner, and they'd be like, just spin like 1,000 times, fall off, do
Well,
whatever.
that's like super
And that's what I
fortunate
did.
to have that
So-
kind of
so
stuff.
yeah.
It doesn't
That's
happen
awesome.
anymore.
Yeah.
That's
It was
that's a
awesome.
non-existent thing now.
And then once I was young at the time, and that's when you've got to learn all that stuff, because otherwise you never, when you get older, you don't have the balls to do it. Do you know what I mean?
That's the issue I actually have, is where I can like do a slide, but I don't have the balls to even attempt to do some crazy double move or anything like that.
That's all it is. A lot of it is like, I did it when I was young, when it felt like it was the normal thing that we did back then at that magazine. So, and then it's just having the balls to do it. So.
Yeah, I mean, because I can like kick a car's tail out pretty good and like save it. Like, I don't really spin cars a lot, and the only reason I got decent at that was our figure 8 track where we
That's
test.
helpful.
I
Right.
just get to like burn through a set of tires every time I'm out there.
That's just a big piece of asphalt. So
yeah,
that's easy.
yeah. But it's
There
like,
is
it's a
no
very
magic to
controlled
it.
thing.
There's
No,
not, pe-
just
people
see
think of it
experience.
as like magic,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's just
experience.
practice
Yeah.
like
See
anything.
time.
Yeah.
It was good having you guys here, man.
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
That was
Yeah.
a good.
That was good. Thanks for this
Yeah.
bourbon. Cask number 5731. I mean, listen,
3162.
it's delicious.
Hang on, now I got to
Delicious.
consult the spreadsheet.
865.
I
No,
can't believe
no.
you got a spreadsheet.
You
That's
don't have
ridiculous.
You've got problems.
Well, how do you
No.
store your whiskey?
In my mouth. One bottle at a time.
What was this? 3261.
Oh, thank God.
3261.
Thank God
Will
we
it?
cleared
It's
that.
good.
We cleared that shit up.
Bottle 38 of not many. Not many.
Ugh.
It was good. It was an experience. It was
Yeah.
like fire.
It's hot. Yeah, you
It's
got to
hot.
get used to drinking the hot stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was
doesn't
very
seem too
nice. Thank you for bringing
This
it down.
this is like,
This is good.
but this is 30 proof weaker. Mm-hmm. It's all watery. It's good though. This is
It's
nice.
pretty good.
It's nice. A little herbally. Not enough.
Keep
not,
saying that.
well, like you
No
want
one knows
with
what it
bourbon-
means.
I don't really
okay,
know.
No one
with
knows what
bourbon,
it
right?
means.
With bourbon, like at minimum, you want vanilla and
Yeah.
honey and like a little oak and a little toffee or something. And this one has some vegetable thing going on.
Okay,
So
fair
it's
enough.
Not, and it's just
So you'd say it's herbally. That's really.
no, it's yeah, but
Have
I
they
mean,
got portal axles?
so, but you can also come here. No, but you can also see it's like not very brown.
Yeah.
So it means it hasn't been in the barrel that long.
Yeah.
And so they tried to fake
No,
it
it's
by doing the
supposedly
ocean cross thing.
it's young. It
Yeah.
says somewhere.
Yeah. So
Whatever.
so you want like this one. Hang on.
Fortunately, I have a barrel at home. I'll just put it in there. Let
Good
it sit
thing I
for
have
like
my
3
spreadsheet
years.
because 3261 that we drank is 14 years old. So it's in wood
good.
for 14 years. So
Yeah.
it gets darker and more flavor.
I feels you.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, Jethro, you have an,
Okay,
you have an
guys, to be
open
like, "Oh, my
invite.
Porsche has a G50 gearbox, but like anything about anything else, you're an idiot
know.
nerd. Yeah.
I know. God forbid I talk about watches. My other hobby.
I want to get into watch. You can do that.
We can. I can help you with that.
I know.
You wanna? I can help you waste all the rest of your money.
No, my kid's
You
in
like-
daycare now at JPL.
Start with
and
that. I got the
Taking
Esquire
care-
big
taking
watch
care
book
of that.
over
I
there.
can't
too.
do it. No, I want to do it.
Some dangerous shit, man.
know,
You
I
can
know.
fit a lot of watches in a drawer.
I have a watch drawer. My new house has a built-in little watch drawer.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
Bitchin'.
fill it up with things.
I again, daycare.
Here's where you
like,
start. You start weird Russian watches.
I have a
like
weird
Cold
Russian
War Russian shit is super cheap.
I have a Soviet submarine admiral's watch.
Sweet. Is
Yeah.
it a Komandirsky?
I can't. I'll
That's
I'll
usually
bring
the
it next
military
time.
one. Yeah, they're fun.
It's cool. I've had it repaired like 7 times and can't work for more than
They're not
23
made
hours.
particularly well.
No, but it's bitch. It's like Pepsi colored. It's bitch.
Oh, cool. Yeah, bring them by next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming down, guys. It's always a pleasure.
It was fun.
Thank you.
Head to head, Motor
Head-to-head.
Trend. New
Yeah.
episodes when?
Well, every month on YouTube, but really you should subscribe to Motor Trend on Demand so you can watch them a month earlier.
Yeah.
And Ignition. And Jethro's, by the time you watch this, he'll still only have 2 episodes up. But his first 2 episodes, we did a head-to-head with the C63 and the RS5.
Nice.
And then he did the Wyra BC.
Wyra BC. McLaren 570S Spider is out in Scotland.
On demand.
On demand, yeah.
I imagine that's
right.
probably a good car.
Yeah, it was a good car. And we're in Scotland, and the road was awesome. So yeah, it was
As
fun.
it is.
It's a good
Scotland.
car.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, open invite next time you're
Thank
in
you
town.
very
Come
much.
back.
Be
We
good.
like having Johnny and
That's
you're
always
welcome
fun.
as well.
It's always fun.
Drive on NBC Sports Thursday
Yeah.
nights at 9 and 9:30. Double headers. Oh boy. During my plug.
That's like a drum roll.
During my plug, we did. I think we did some pretty good work this year on Drive. I'm happy with it. The
Yeah.
shows came out cool, and
I want to
it's
see that
really
Miami
fun.
one because I did the same thing with an event.
With the same Aventador S.
Yeah, was it the same one?
It was the same
Obviously
one, the
it
gray
was the
one.
same
Yeah.
Guccione, Guccione or whatever it is.
Yeah. It was very fast, and I overheated it in traffic.
Really?
Yep, it overheated in traffic.
Wow.
Not overheated like coolant spewing out of the radiator overheated, but like
The
meh,
thing-
meh, meh,
There's
reduced power.
there's a pattern forming.
I
swear-
Everything you
They
drive
need air, though.
overheats.
But it needs that car needs air. It needs air.
This
flowing.
was this was literally in South Beach, Miami, in July.
So I,
in
to
traffic.
be fair, I was like probably July actually when we shot it, and we went down to Key West. And
Yeah.
Like the second day we were in Key West, it was like over 100, and we were putting around. The same
Yeah.
thing happened. It was
Yeah,
like,
same
and I
car,
was like,
same-
I just
yeah.
kept fleeing my crew because I'm like, I
It's
gotta
not-
go.
It's not meant for that.
It needs air. I can't.
They're still cool cars.
It's still a
Aventadors
cool
are
car.
cars.
It's still cool.
I hit
enjoyed it.
177 on the bridge.
Oh,
in Key West.
congratulations.
It was
Whoa.
pretty.
We were on that bridge. We didn't do that.
It was
We didn't
pretty.
do that.
Yeah, it
We
was
had a
pretty.
I hit
Gosh, on a 512 there.
168 or so in the back straight of PBIR, which is a
Nah,
long
it's
back
pretty
straight.
good. Yeah, 177 was.
I got yelled at because I wasn't wearing a helmet, and they were about it.
We had the cop shut it down. I gave the cop a ride too. He loved it. Florida.
They like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking lawlessness. All right. Let's see. New one takes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. New podcast. If you're listening to this, check out the video. If you're watching this, check out the audio. See what I'm saying? And, of course, the Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. You just need something to say it into, and then something to bring that to the internet, and Shout Engine will handle the rest. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.